I mean, I'm trying to look up. I can't even think. It's that I can't even think. Right, let me look at the temperature at the
Here we
moment.
go. Here we go. And then I'm gonna change your audio to be
It is right now.
not coming out these speakers anymore. Because there we go. Okay. How hot is it?
Is if it's 27 at the moment, but it is also 6 o'clock at night.
Oh my
And
god.
that's the problem with temperature, right? It's cumulative. Like it doesn't matter if it got to 27, peaked there and come down, it wouldn't feel so bad. But because it's like peaked much higher,
All of your numbers confuse me.
I don't know what
Um,
that is in Fahrenheit. I have no idea. Why would anyone use Fahrenheit?
what do you think? There's a lot of thumping. A lot of thumping
Oh,
going on.
sorry, that was me. I bumped my phone down in exasperation at your use of the imperial system.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get
But yeah,
myself.
so it's been so hot. Like I thought, okay, this morning I was like, okay, let's get the kid out to the park early when it's not going to be too hot, so that I can let him run around and do that. And
Seems pretty
then
reasonable.
yeah, right. But I got to the park and it was already too hot. Like
Like to be
he
in the
was,
park. Hold on. I'm
yeah,
doing our
just
I'm
just
doing our
that's
posting
fine.
and
You do your thing.
advertising.
It's just too hot for us just to be outside. So he didn't want to go in the park. He just sort of kind of like, you know, it's even worse for kids, right? They're the tiny, small human bodies are not as good. Even they're not as good as ours are
At
at managing their
anything.
temperature.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Garbage.
so then we just failed at that. I tried to take him to the library where there was a bit of air conditioning. Still failed. Everyone was just too hot. So I bring him back. And then we just watch Cars, Pixar's Cars, the whole day, the whole trilogy. I'm that mom now.
Oh
I'm
god,
just
is it?
like, just put him in front of the TV. But I kid you not, it was just too hot to move. I know these temperatures aren't a big deal for New York, but without air conditioning, it's just relentless. Like nowhere has air conditioning. Like one building in this whole town has air conditioning. And it's just anyway. So I watched the whole of the Cars trilogy, and I don't know. Have you ever watched Cars? I've never watched any of these kinds of things. I don't tend to watch kids cartoons.
I've never in my
No.
life.
Well, if you ever deign to watch Cars, don't watch Cars 2. It's so appallingly bad. It's really bad.
Okay, now.
'Cause I was surprised because it's Pixar, right? So you kind of expect a certain standard of storytelling.
Hmm.
Cars 1, I mean, it's very sort of like the idea is that he's a race car, but then he manages to get himself in like some small town in some flyover place where they're reminiscing about how road trips used to be really nice and lovely until they put in the interstate. It's all very nostalgic anyway. But it's a story, right? It was a coherent storyline. And then Cars 2, for some reason it was like James Bond and the cars had like gimmicks and none of it worked. It just didn't make any sense. But Cars 3 brought it back because then it was more of a sort of darker storyline about what you do when you're too old to do the thing you like doing anymore. Which
Oh no.
that was really hitting me in the feels today.
Yeah, that sounds a little rough.
It's got quite a good soundtrack actually. It was quite foreboding. So that's what I'm coming off now. Too hot and having watched 7 hours of Pixar's Cars. I'm so hot.
Oh, just updating our branding everywhere. We got all of our branding
I'm
correct
so
now.
hot. I know. I'm just like it's that heat. Like I don't
So
know.
here's the thing about cars that
Hot.
I don't quite get that I wanna make sure we get while we let people kind of come. Hi, bipolar scientist.
Okay,
Um,
yeah. Is this about how they talk?
no,
Okay,
it's
because
a
they do
thing, and
have
I'm not the
tongues as well,
first
because
person to
that
mention
concerns
this,
me.
but if I
Okay,
recall properly, in
yeah,
the Cars universe,
yeah.
9/11 happened.
It did. How do you know that? Because I've got other questions about the Cars universe. Because I've got a theory that it's a massive dystopia.
I
Be-
think this is let me see because I remember reading this somewhere.
so the thing that disturbs me is that the first Cars, all the buildings and stuff and everything is designed for
Oh no.
cars. So I presume you exist in a world where only cars are the only sentient beings, right? But then you go to Cars 2 and they're in Europe and they've still got human houses, like houses built for humans with teeny tiny doors and teeny tiny windows. And I'm like, have the cars killed the humans? Is
Okay,
this what's happened?
so it seems like what's happened is in Cars 2 there's a scene where the
Hmm.
cars have to go through a metal detector.
Oh,
And
probably.
the
Well, probably wasn't
scene
paying attention that so
which this
closely.
implies that there are car terrorists or
Well,
people who
they
cars have been weapons. And apparently there's planes which is a movie in the Cars universe.
Yes.
But
I
it's
haven't
about
watched Planes. I'm keeping that for tomorrow's Heat, Rave.
And so that means that, like, what's going on? How, if there's cars and planes and all these things are sentient and there's metal like,
right, so the car,
that's
so in
pretty
the Cars 2
grim.
universe, they do get onto a plane.
Wait,
And
the
the planes
cars
are
get on a
also
plane.
sentient. Yeah, the planes are also sentient. Now, it gets even more disturbing to me.
Well, I
And
guess
there
it's like
don't seem
riding
to
a
be
horse.
any other kind of mammals or creatures. Even the flies are little cars with wings. But what really creeped me out was that they've got tongues. So what's the organic material inside these cars? Why do they have door handles as well? Like, if we maybe this is why they killed the humans. Maybe this is why they
These
wiped.
are...
That's my theory. Of course, 9/11 happened, Dave, because we were in the current universe, but the cars have killed all the humans. Now they've already flattened America. It didn't take them long, apparently, and built it in their car vision. But they haven't done it with Europe yet. There's even steps. There's even steps in Cars 2. Why would you have steps if you've got no humans? Exactly. They murdered us. They killed us. It's very dark.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. I'm looking at...
Anyway, Mahjong has just been...
Flies are just small humans flying around. Yeah, like when everything's sentient, it's weird. When everything becomes like a little person and you're just running around being like, here, little people, like, here you go. Like, it's weird.
But yeah, I mean, Cars 2, like, I don't know. There's so much because they've got to have these like little forklift trucks to try and get around the fact that no cars don't have hands, right? So the forklift trucks can do things. So then I've got more questions. Are the forklift trucks enslaved to the other cars? Because is that what they want to be doing? Because they just service the other cars? Is this what they want?
If the cars don't have hands, how do they accomplish anything? How do they eat?
Well, I don't think they need to eat food. They established that they mostly seem to be drinking oil and gas.
Yeah, but like how? How do they get it to them?
I don't know how they then feed the organic. But they're probably eating humans. They just don't want to show that in the child's version of Cars.
Are they
Pixar
like
are probably
amoeba?
working on the adult's version of Cars where they like crush
just
human bones.
All right, so hi everyone.
But yeah, as I said, if you're watching Pixar's Cars, watch the first one, watch the third one. Do not watch the second one. Save yourselves the trouble. It's just appalling. But my son loves Disney's Cars. Like, he loves it. He goes, like, in the end, I relented because I don't like buying my kid branded stuff and like getting him into like a franchise like that. But I relented and I got him like this Duplo Mater, which is one of the cars, and Lightning McQueen. And like, you should have seen his face when it came out of the box. He was just like, they've come into the real life. They're outside the TV, and now.
Well, that is, to be fair, that's the wonder of a kid. And this isn't even kids today. That's any kid getting any toy. That thing I've seen is here. Yeah. I have it now, and it's with me, and I can like engage with it in a way that I want. Like that. That's a pretty natural kid reaction.
I'm one of those moms. I don't let him open boxes or anything. You know, like if I'm giving him something, I don't want him to like get involved in that kind of consumer capitalist, frenzy of having to buy something in shops all the time. Anyway, he really likes it, but now he sleeps with it. He sleeps with the bloody Duplo cars.
Oh, geez.
I know. That was the first thing I saw this morning was him thrusting that in my face, going, "Mama, play Lightning McQueen." I'm like, Jesus. Okay.
Look, anyway. Kids are
Mahjong.
Sure, kids. Yeah,
so Mahjong. I haven't done any Mahjong today because it's too hot. I can't.
Talking about Mahjong, I'm gonna actually do a thing. I'm gonna duplicate.
Are you doing an announcement today? You did an announcement on your social already. Can't you do your announcement?
We've done some announcements.
Hi, Claudato. Thank you.
Wait,
Thank you. We're being raided, Dave.
Oh my God, oh hey, I didn't even notice. Hey, welcome Claudato and friends of Claudato and Vikings.
Dave is just getting ready for his Mahjong-based announcement.
Yeah, my Mahjong-based announcement.
You just missed Gemma's rant about Pixar's Cars, but we are moving on to the Mahjong now.
Adding,
we spend a few minutes sharing the lives of
preparing it
Gemma
because
mostly.
I have to like do this right and get it.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how you play Mahjong in this heat, which I don't know. I think it might be a coming problem for Europe in general because a lot of European places don't have aircon, or the venues we're hiring don't have aircon.
I remember that. I remember going to Germany.
Yeah.
in going to friggin' what's this?
Oh, it was. And that was the jazz bar, and
Hanover.
we were in the we were in the basement, right? So like the first day, it was bliss, right? You
It
were
was kind
out
of cool.
there,
It was
and it
kind of
was
nice.
yeah, it was nice. We were down in the basement, but then we were like 80 bodies, right? And they were doing their best, like because of course they don't want to let the hot air in, so they're closing the doors. They're closing like there's no windows to close, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
keeping
yeah.
it all like to try and keep the hot air out. But of course, all the humans are generating hot air, and it was yeah. I remember one. I think it was the last game, maybe. I I started to feel really sick, like really, really unwell.
Yeah, I remember you were saying like you just were not. It was just really hot. It was just really hard
Yeah, and it's I
for
don't know, like you can't,
you to
you know,
manage it.
yeah. I just saw someone complaining, not complaining, giving constructive feedback about the UK Open, about the ability to play at your best in the heat because it was very
Oh,
hot for the
welcome.
UK Open as well.
Mm,
And you can't, your brain just stops
yeah,
functioning the way you want
it's.
it to.
I mean, a lot of people have talked about it. In fact, there's this wonderful documentary by this company called ASICS about the link between physical and mental performance. But it's true. Like when you're physically in a situation like that, you're just like, like I remember. I very specifically remember. I was so jet lagged. I dealt into a Hanuman, like a reach Ipat's Hanuman, because I like spaced out on the reach even being declared.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah.
so out of it and jet lagged and hot. I was just like, I'm just discarding it. I don't even know. And then
But at least you doing that, like that's really on you if you're jet lagged, right?
a little bit,
That's
yeah, yeah.
outside of the organizer's control. And having been an organizer, having organized events like 12 Episode 2014, which was horrendously hot. I think it hit 31 in Paris
Yes, that was the one that
that
was so
weekend, right?
dangerous. I was like, we're gonna kill all these old people. Um, hey, Olo.
But I don't know. How do you ask organizers to also think, well, especially like let's accept climate change is happening, which means whereas having a heat wave in September may, within the great capacity of things, be not impossible.
It's
These less regular events are going to happen with more regularity.
human. It was, yeah. No, you just again. This is my complaint to you, Europeans. You just have air conditioning. Have
Right,
air
but if we
conditioning.
get air conditioning, we're just going to make the whole
Am I
bigger
overgained?
problem far, far worse.
Maybe I'm overgained.
I mean, the answer
There we go.
obviously is to try and repair some of the damage we've already done.
I
Um,
mean, it's just. But the thing is, you just don't have to have it on all the time. You just turn it on if things are
but
out of control, and then
but the
otherwise you
problem
turn it off.
But the problem is the buildings. Like if I
Yeah,
can't put air conditioning in my building, my house will
yeah.
not. It won't. But and so it's. I was just kind of spitballing here. I was wondering whether we could push events later. I mean, in Japan, most events
Later
don't
in the
start
day,
until
in
midday.
the evening. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, so you can, most mahjong is played in the evenings, obviously, because they do it after work. I just wonder if that's something that people should start thinking about.
A lot of buildings here that weren't designed for hot climates. Architects just don't understand. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it's an older building and it was designed back when like architect meant person who could make a thing that wouldn't fall over.
I mean, so yeah, my my
Yeah,
my
yeah,
my
yeah. I
house
should
was
be
built in
fair. Maybe I'm being kind of
1850,
harsh.
and I would like to say it's actually pretty good at keeping the heat out for several days. It's just when a heat wave like this is so brutal and extends for so long, it's just almost unstoppable. I will say as well, British people are exactly how I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase "an Englishman is in the midday sun," because that's what we do. Go, we're like mad dogs. We just go out in the midday sun, even though
I've
we're
never
just
heard that.
idiots.
I've never
But
heard that phrase.
I look outside and like I've got all of my windows that are facing towards the sun. I've got the curtains pulled. I've closed the windows to try and keep the hot air out and keep the sun out. But everyone else, they wide open windows, curtains open, and I'm like, that's how you let the heat in, you
All right,
know.
let's.
Anyway, well, I brought it to Mahjong. So I brought my heat wave question into problem with Mahjong. It did it. It did it. But Zaps knows a lot about the troubles that we're facing. I think in Europe. So
So here I'm gonna for once put the big reveal at the beginning. Because I'm really psyched about this.
do
You must
Mahjong
go through
events
much
move so
so
quickly?
quickly. That's the problem. There's never enough time for the hanchan you want to play. So like that's also
Well, I
really
mean, if
hard.
you let them run till midnight,
Yeah, people just want to stay up late.
and that's the problem, right? And then yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you solve half these problems.
Yeah. Let me fade this on over. So this has been a big media blast anyway. But if you haven't seen, now you're seeing. Yeah, so we are going to be at New York Comic Con through
Yay!
an incredible stroke of excitement and coolness.
I was surprised that it's got two C's. I've only ever heard it said, and it's always Comic Con. So I
Comic Con is
presume
one.
they didn't. They just
No,
took out a C.
they're actually very specific about their branding. They say the first time you refer to it, you must call it New York Comic Con, and then every other time you must call it NYCC.
Okay,
They have
right,
very strict
okay.
guidelines about this. Very strict.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this. First of all, New York Comic Con. Most people have probably heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, it is, I believe, the biggest comic and fandom convention in America. It covers a lot of different genres of media. They are expecting 250,000 people this year. 250,000 people will be there at New York Comic Con. And so I was actually just down at the Javits Center last week. It's going to be at Javits Center, of course. I was down at Javits Center.
Where's the Javits Center in New York?
So the Javits Center is around 34th Street on the west side of town. There's like Hudson Yards right there. You can't see my hands. There's like Hudson Yards and there's Javits. Well, now I'm backwards because anyway.
It's on Manhattan Island is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's on Manhattan.
Okay.
As you go to the west, there's like this Hudson Yards area, which was recently built up with a lot of high rises and things. And then near there is a Javits Center.
Dave only plays in the big league.
I only play in the big leagues. It's because I'm too big. I need to shrink. Hudson Yards it's full of stuff for better or worse. Like it's a big old place. They have that weird vessel thing there, and right there is a Javits Center. Now they recently, and when I say recently, I mean in the past like 5 years, but they recently extended the 7 train. So the 7 train now goes all the way out to Hudson Yards. You can just take the 7 over and get out of the stop that's like a block and a half from the Javits. Yeah, it's right by the Megabus terminal. It's just a couple blocks from there. They still have all it's a few bus companies, but yeah, they have all their bus terminals there as well. So it's actually really easy to get to. You just get on the 7, and you can truck your way right on over and be happy. So awesome, frankly, awesome for me, but awesome for a lot of people. And I was just there so B&H, the photography store, had their 50th anniversary convention there, the Build convention, BILD. And I was there just this past week, and the Javits Center is huge. I've never been there. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. And this place is going to be entirely full.
Oh, really? They're taking up the whole convention center? Wow.
You really, whatever else you're doing, just cancel it. Just be like, it's not as big as this.
I know, I'm a little bit gutted because it's the same weekend as the first Welsh tournament, so I can't attend this year, and I'm a little bit gutted. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna support my homies on this one. It's all right, Dave. You can have me next year. You're just, I've always got to turn up. I've always got to turn up late to the party.
Well, we'll know at that point, We'll
know it's NYCC is a colossal event apparently. See, I don't know. Insane. I've never been to a Comic Con. I've been to anime conventions really, but I've never touched a Comic Con. So this is all news to me.
That logo. Which logo? We got 3 logos on the page. I hope it's one of mine, but the Comic Con logo is pretty good too. I gotta say. Yeah. So basically, to talk a little bit about back end process of this. Oh, the Barrows. Thank you. I'll pass it on to the designer because I did not design it, but I do really like this Barrows Nest logo. Yeah, they have. There's a New York Anime Convention as well. That's separate, I think, from Comic-Con. So apparently the retailer floor at New York Comic-Con has a multi-year waiting list to get in. Like,
how did you do it, Dave? Did you just Dave it in?
Well, a little bit. You might notice that it says New York Comic-Con, and in the bottom corner it says by ReedPop.
Mm-hmm.
And ReedPop is a company that runs New York Comic-Con, but ReedPop is also the company that runs PAX East and PAX Unplugged. And I've had a relationship with them since 2014.
Yeah.
And we've had a great time working with them at PAX East and PAX Unplugged. So thank you, ReedPop. Like, they've always been really responsive and really great. And so I called them up and I was like, hey, you run the one thing. I see you run the other thing. Like, can we make something happen? And we talked a bunch and we were really able to make something happen. So we're going to be in the New York Comic Con tabletop section for this year. And
so they've actually got a tabletop gaming section then. So it's just kind of like, how are you gonna? I have this. It's because normally, we're getting anime fans in, right? You go to PAX East and people come up to you and be like, I saw this in an anime, And I just wonder, Marvel fans are not going to have seen it in an
The
anime.
thing is, first of all, New York Comic Con is so big
Mm.
that it attracts a lot of different people, a
Oh no,
huge
people
amount of
can't have
people.
crossover interest, Dave. That's
Oh, I'm
forbidden.
sorry. And to some degree, I think this actually will be fairly similar to what happened to us at PAX East, because PAX East was really PAX East specifically. Like PAX Unplugged is a board game convention. We have people who like board and table
Yeah,
games. They see a board and table. Like it's a very natural fit. It's great. PAX East had a lot of people who like video games. Now
yeah.
Mahjong's not a video. You might know Mahjong at that time especially was not really a video game. But there were still plenty of people who were interested and plenty of people who were like really like hyped to check us out. And one of the things that you find that I found at Otakon, at PAX Unplugged, and even at PAX East is people come to the tabletop section when they want to chill out a little bit because they've done a lot of the other huge, overwhelming things at this huge, overwhelming convention, and they want to, sit down, focus on just one thing, relax a little bit, learn something maybe. Like they're not like I'm don't want to, I don't want to think. But like it's a great time to catch people to give them something a little bit longer and a little bit more focused after they've been wandering and looking at everything at this huge Insano convention. I honestly do not think we will suffer from a lack of interest at Comic Con. I think we might suffer from way too much interest to handle at Comic Con, which is what I'm trying to like build a plan to manage in some way.
Yeah, it's well. I mean, at least you don't have to hold your auto table too far this time.
Well, one, I think I'm probably going to be hauling 4 or 5. It depends on how everything works out. Um,
Wow. I
yeah,
mean,
it's
that's always the hook, right? Every time I've gone to support you at PAX East, you can see people's faces change as they see the table, right? They walk past
yeah,
it. We always had it right at the front where the walkway was, and people just stop, because you're walking past. I mean, tabletop games, a lot of them look the same, right? That they're not to
pardon me.
do them down, but there's pieces on a board.
Yeah,
But Mahjong really stands out in that space,
yeah. Oh,
right?
Mahjong's beautiful.
Mm.
And yeah, we're gonna have. Oh, Pez, I'll be again to be super honest and a little bit behind the curtain. Every con I've done, we've had enough space for four. Like I'm not even gonna go to. And this isn't a slight against a con, but in order to give an effective presentation at a con, in order to have an effective presence there, we'll need at least 5 tables. I mean, at Otakon we did 8 and we could have done 12.
Mm.
And the space Otakon has been lovely to us. They give us all this space for free because people there love it and they really like being there. So like in terms of demo space, cons usually if you give them something engaging like Mahjong that takes up floor space, they're very happy to provide it. So we've had
Mm.
really great experiences working with these conventions with stuff like that. So it's actually pretty normal. One of the things we're also going to be doing. Oh, that's true. Yeah, if you're in the
Yeah.
UK and Europe, like I don't know what conventions look like outside the US. Never done it.
It's difficult, yeah. Everything's difficult
Yeah,
space-wise
so
in the
space wise might be
UK.
tricky. So we're gonna be there. We're gonna be teaching mahjong. We're looking to lock in some celebrity guests, which I can't announce yet, but I'll be able to announce soon. So fingers crossed, we'll get that all locked in and squared away, which would be
It's not
awesome.
me. You're not,
It's
I
not.
was
I
your
mean,
first
I
choice
wish it
celeb,
could be.
right?
I wish it could be. I do. I wish it could be Gemma. Because we did the first. It's also so sentimental for me because we did that PAX East 2014, the first convention. We did that together, and we trucked
It
through that
was.
together.
We
God
did.
bless us.
We
And
had a
Gemma
few fallings
complained
out along the way during that
about how
weekend. That
awful
was
America was because she couldn't just drink beer on the street.
I needed to just drink on the street after that. Like it was just because we didn't. None of us
No,
involved had any idea what we were walking into,
we didn't know what we were
and
doing
I
at all.
don't think I quite anticipated how much interest there would be in mahjong at a convention. I mean, I think partly this is Americans are just really good at connecting with other people. They really want to talk to people, and they're much, when British people, they'll just kind of stand around and you can just ignore them if you're busy, right? But Americans are much better, I think, at being like, let me talk to you. I want to know what you're doing. I want to hear about you, right? They're much more open in that way. And I think I was just really just taken aback by the amount that was acquired. But Dave learned from that
I learned
experience.
a
Each
lot
convention has
about
been
boxes
about
and about
boxes.
drayage and about what's it called, the Teamsters unions and all the different things you can get into trouble with at a convention. I sure learned that. I learned about a
Dave
$2,000
learned it the hard
carpet one
way.
year. I learned a lot of stuff in the past 9 years. But and to some degree, this is going to be a learning experience because every time you go to a new con, you learn a lot. You learn how does the venue work, how does load in, load out work, how does all this stuff work. So this is going to some degree be, and I actually, again, the folks at Reed Pop, really great folks, and the advice they gave me I thought was really, really smart, and I respect them a lot because what they said was, don't go nuts. For your
Mm,
first year, you're going to be learning how it works, what the crowd's like, what's good
mm,
for you, what the mechanics of doing this are. don't blow out your budget. Don't go crazy. Don't have, don't spend $1 bazillion with crazy high expectations, because you got to learn how it works.
Yeah.
And then next year, you'll know what you really want to invest in. And again, like, I respect them for selling that, because to some degree, this is a salesperson telling me not to spend money. But to another degree, they're helping you be long-term successful.
Yeah, I was about to say the setting expectations. I would have thought that was the smart. They want a long-term customer or partner in you, right?
Yeah.
So that's refreshing to hear, I think.
Yeah, this is part of why I like working with them, because they know that if you work with them, you're going to work with them year over year, and it's going to be something good. So I'm really excited about this. We're working real hard.
You've turned this one around quick. I mean, you've got just over a month.
An insane opportunity, and because I'm currently employed only by Mahjong, I have the time and effort that it takes to make this happen. Yeah, the world's worst employer. But like, I have the time and effort needed to focus on this entirely. I will say we could totally use help and staff. If you,
how many staff passes do you have? Have you got?
How many do you want?
Okay, I just want to know. Like,
I mean, frankly, even when doing this, they were like, if you don't want to do the exhibition this year, we'll just give you passes to get in. To see the convention and experience it as a prospective customer, to see and understand what's going on here. For staff, they'll give us the staff passes we need. That's never an issue.
Okay.
No convention has ever gotten stingy with me about staff pass. I mean, as long as you're legitimately using them for staff and not like handing them out to buddies, like they really.
Well, no, care. I mean, after the first convention, it was difficult. The labor convention, I went to 2 conventions after that, right? And then, Dave always made it so that we had breaks and we could walk around and actually see the convention.
Yes. So let me give you the rules of staff. So there's, I'm just going to lay this out for anyone watching or anyone curious. Here's the rules of staff for a convention that you do with me, which is we break up the day into shifts. We usually try to do 3 shifts, because a convention day is 3 days. Or I'm sorry, is 12 hours. Sorry, it's like from usually from like 10 a.m. It's more than 12 hours, from 10 a.m. to midnight usually. To have expense. Depends, Zaf. So it depends on your celebrity endorsement status. It's not entirely impossible. For celebrity folks, we might be able to help. But anyway, so the day usually starts around 10 a.m. and ends around midnight. So that's actually a 14-hour day. So we try to break that into 3 shifts. And then what's for 14 hours is going to be like 4, 5, and 5, or something like that. Big Mahjong. Big Mahjong. That's what they call me on the streets. But yeah, so we usually try to break it up into 3 shifts, and this is something we learned after the first convention, is you make sure that people can trade shifts around a little bit, and I like to see people doing out of the convention like a good amount. Again, they're kind of going to vary a little bit based on number of people, but a good amount of shifts, and then you make sure people have good 3 or 4 hour blocks of time off, so that they can go do something at the convention, see anything of the convention at all, go do something, rest, have some time, stuff like that. And you kind of let people break themselves out like that. I've already set up like a shifting schedule to see what people want to do on what parts of the day. What I can offer people. So here's the pluses of coming to work a convention with Dave. I'm sorry. There's another important rule of working a convention with Dave. That rule is Dave is crazy. Please ignore him. In other words, I will often be the one who sits there for all 12 hours just because I am a little fussy and I like to make sure everything's going well. And also it becomes
fun though. It's a little fun.
It's a little fun too. Yeah, it's a little fun being engaged. And the only when I say if Dave is crazy, please ignore him, it is please take your own breaks. Please do not assume that me being there like a crazy, because that's what I already do. Please do not assume that me being there like a crazy means that if you take a break, I'm going to be like, oh, what's wrong with that person taking their scheduled break? Like, no, everyone needs to be human and rest.
Dave has always been very good at fueling people up with coffee, despite being a non-coffee drinker himself. He's very careful of people's need for coffee. I don't know whether
supplies, hydration. I'll tell you, there's a Russ and Daughters a couple blocks away from Javits now, and there will be a Russ and Daughters run at some point during that con, because dear God, I cannot not have my bagels. So what we can provide to people really is the badge for the con right now. We don't have a giant. Zaps is too kind. I guess I'll pay for your flight here now. But so we can generally, if you're in the New York City area already, this is a great opportunity, because we can provide you the badge. You already live here, so like lodging is easy and transport is easy, and that's fine. Working a con like this is an excellent opportunity if you do not have the opportunity to get in front of people and teach. Like, one of the things that I found has been hugely helpful for people, at least in the past, who want to be better at teaching Mahjong, is you do something where all you do all day is teach people mahjong over and over and over again.
Mm.
You learn your patter, you learn your cadence, you learn what works for you. You'll be surrounded by other people who've done it a lot and give you tips and pointers, but really everyone kind of gets their own style going.
Yeah, like my experience is that like Dave has like a kind of a plot that you can use, like a template
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everyone, and then I think I kind of move one direction, but other people are moving other directions. You do add your own sort of, you find how you engage with people. It's interesting, but
Yeah,
there's a
so it's
template, like a little, it's the Tibet style, right, with a little handout.
generally,
So
I've actually started going faster than I've done like a fast Tibet because at
yeah,
least in my past experiences, most people catch on pretty quick, and so I've cut it down a little bit to go faster towards getting a full game.
yeah.
We're also probably
I
going to be
I always
coming.
used to ask people like what like you play cards, you play board games, like
Yeah, yeah.
once you know what they've done before, like if people play card games, you just go,
Most
right?
of it
It's
works.
easy.
Yeah, yeah. I always about
Mm,
poker. Have you played poker? Have you played gin rummy? Like these types of things help you get a feel for where people are at.
mm,
Um, and yeah. I mean, again, there's tips, and there's always going to be yeah, exactly, Carol. Like when you do it over
mm,
and over and over again, you get really comfortable in your rhythm, and it starts becoming kind of second nature. And like training people to teach is really really important.
mm.
Um,
Wait, are you still doing the 30-minute blocks?
so this is another big question about this convention. So at Otakon,
Mm,
we just let people come as they came
yeah,
because people again this is just about the convention, how each convention kind of works. At Otakon, people didn't really schedule. We found that when we tried scheduling people at Otakon, they never came back on time. They were just off doing something else. And I
that's
would imagine
interesting.
Comic-Con might be similar just because it's so big
Yeah,
that you're going to get lost doing something else. And so maybe we take people as we come. We see what happens with that.
yeah, because PAX East
um,
we booked them in, right?
we found at PAX East booking them in worked really really well.
Yeah,
But PAX East was much more of a floor convention than a panel convention.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So
People
it was
get
easier for
sort
people
of
to come back.
distracted, right?
Yeah. So that was really interesting. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do the rolling tournament. So we did at Otakon, we did a tournament where we basically said every hour, I think it was actually every hour and a half, we start a game. So if you want to be in the tournament, just show up for as many games as you want. As long as you participate in at least 3 of them, you get a streak of 3, and your best streak of 3 games. So the more you play, the better you can do. But your best streak of 3 games is your entry.
It's very
And
Final Fantasy Gold Saucer. I feel like they turn up to a gate person and then they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
the
Well, the idea
Mahjong
is
game's starting in 10 minutes. Do you want to go?
but yeah, the idea is like you don't know when you're going to be around at the con. You probably don't want to sign up and be like, I'm going to spend a whole, it's not like we're holding a regional tournament here. So you probably don't want to sign up and say, I'm going to spend a whole day of this big con sitting and playing a Mahjong tournament. You have stuff you want to do, but you can show up for as much as you want. And then there will for sure be prizes available for these tournaments. We're actually getting some interesting prizes. I believe, again, fingers crossed, I believe we're going to be provided some prizes by the convention. We're going to have some of our own prizes, and everyone who enters is going to get something. So it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really hyped for this. But yeah, like in terms of help, teachers are always helpful. Logistics people are always helpful. People who can just engage with people and talk to them directly are always helpful. If you're curious, I'll type in, email me at dave@uspmail.com. I will be honest, we can provide badges. I don't think we can provide like travel support or lodging support at this point. I don't want to promise what we can't necessarily do in terms of budget.
Yeah.
But like, if you really want to go to Comic-Con, if you're really okay getting yourself here, and if you don't mind working your way through, you can't buy 4-day badges anymore. So we got the only ones in the game. And it is a really great experience to hang out, meet some new people, and really like get your
I've
teaching
always
game
had
down.
such a great time. Yeah, really, really good, positive experience, and you feel so much better about Mahjong afterwards.
And because yeah, like it really depends. The cats, like again, some the cats are. Oh, the cats. Oh, I love my cat. I hope you love your cat. I'm sure you love your cat. But like it's true. Like there's always, I find there's always actually like a group of a few people who do just play mahjong, or like they come and they learn, and then all they do for the rest of the con is play mahjong because they love it. It's mostly just about like how you schedule a tournament and making it so like participation requires you to spend all day sitting here. It closes it off to some people, and frankly, if you do want to sit there all day and play tournament game after tournament game, like be our guest. We got auto tables for you. It's all good.
Can I have a hot take about conventions in general?
Uh,
So I feel in a little bit like that experience you have, people just keep coming back to play the Mahjong. That's how conventions used to feel for me. Now that they're big vendor, like just lines and lines of vendor booths and stuff like that, and people trying to sell me stuff. Like back in the day, and this was very, very back in the day, I like to point out, you went to conventions mostly to meet people.
mm.
And Mahjong kind of allows people to do that again.
That's
It
one of the
takes it
really
back from the
interesting
consumption aspect, right? The constant
things
consumption.
that I might want to pitch.
Mm.
Because you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the JPML dojo.
Yeah.
When I go down to the JPML dojo, when I just traipse on over to Japan as I do every other weekend, but the way it's structured there is very interesting. The way it's structured there is each pro, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like the pros are kind of fixed. There
Yeah,
are these
we
tables.
sit on our tables. Yeah,
Each
we haven't.
pro gets a table.
And if you notice, so the first table's the guest one, and then they'll put us in hierarchical order down
Oh,
from
really?
there.
I didn't know how cool you were.
Yeah.
But then the people who come in, like me, get shuffled from table to table every time you mix it up.
Yeah.
And you kind of get maybe sat with different pros so you can meet everyone and hang out a little bit and play a little bit of a game with someone that you're also kind of meeting as a little bit of a meet and greet.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of the things that I'm looking at pitching for a few different angles is that kind of like meet and greet and mahjong.
Yeah.
So now instead of just meeting someone and like talking, you get to meet someone and hang out and play a game with them that's chill and fun and like have kind of a nice time with them. And it's a really interesting way to interact. It's nice, I think, as a star, imagining what being a star might like. It's kind of might be like it's kind of nice to have this structured thing you do. So it's not just a fan sitting there in front of you being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you're so cool. You know, like there's a thing that you do with them which gives you a little bit of flow or a little bit of thing. Mahjong can be chill or fun.
Well, I think Mahjong's good for that though, just generally. And I said so. I mean, I've said this story before, but I'll repeat it. Like when I came back from Taiwan from studying and avoiding real life, and I went to work in Frankfurt, and I had no friends. I knew no one. It was just me on my own, in a flat. But then, like, I was like, okay, well, there's a Mahjong event in the Netherlands, which is just a short train ride away, really. I'll go there. I'll go there because literally I've got nothing to do. I'm sad. And I went there, and it didn't matter. I didn't know anyone at that Mahjong event. I knew no one because you just sat at a table, and then people started talking to you, right? And then you had something to talk about afterwards. You could talk about the game. And then suddenly you're making these connections. And then I was like, oh, wow, I found people. I found people to talk to. And then I was just going to, I think I went to every single European event. And there were not so many as there are now. But I went to every single European event for like a full year because that was how I was getting my social life, which sounds a little bit tragic. But it's not. I think it's really positive.
I think so, too. I think it's a great thing. And that's one of the things I'm looking at pushing a little bit is, Mahjong, having a kind of shared structured activity really helps. Because if you're getting along, you can chat a lot. If you're not getting along so much, you can still just do the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You still have a thing to do.
Let's say you feel socially awkward, you don't like really kind of starting conversation. You don't have to start anything, but you can still be part of the socialness. But the Catster, I started going when I was 20.
The Catster,
and now I'm 40.
Oh God, I'm 42.
I'm 40, yeah. So, yeah.
But I'll also say that the Catster's very right, and I'll also say, like, at PAX Unplugged, there are people of all ages. There are young 20-somethings. There are older 50, 60-year-old people. We've met people of all types. Otakon made me feel so old because everyone there was so young. They're very nice people, all very nice people. Nothing negative to say, but they were all young. I was like, oh my God. The youth of today are around me, and I don't know. Should I be dabbing? I don't know what I should be doing here. Just dab constantly for relevance. But like, it was a younger crowd. I would honestly expect Comic-Con to be another age-spanning crowd with younger and older people, all kinds of folks. You're not. No one at these conventions is going to point at you and be like, "An old person." Get
and do you know
out.
what? I've noticed as well. You're getting a lot of families coming, no?
Yeah.
Now that my age have grown up and they've started having kids, they're bringing their kids.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as the media scene, as people in the media say, can you tap for us? We can feel maybe if I get enough. I don't know. We're not big enough to get likes and subscribes or whatnot. But like maybe if there's the right balance of power here. There's families coming to, so there's all kinds of people coming to I'm sorry, Gen Con. I went to Gen Con as well, big board game convention, not for work, just for play, but like plenty of people of all ages there. Like definitely don't feel aged out of these things because there's room for everyone and there's a lot of people just going to enjoy something they like. Yeah. So channel points. I will Dave dab.
I know.
It'll be like
where's my credit card? If I can make Dave dab, I will make him.
No, I'm gonna run one of those weird NPC channels where people keep like sending me gift items and I have to like react to them every time.
Yeah, do that, Dave. I'll pay for that.
My only reaction will just be what? I'll just do that over. I'll be like, what? What?
But sort of coming back to something that was interesting, as I said, I was sort of like, Mahjong puts
so
maybe
good.
the old feeling back of cons where it's not just about consumption and money. And we were talking about this yesterday. I think it's, big Mahjong. Big Mahjong is poor because there's no product. You look at Magic the Gathering.
Why
they've
you
got
gotta burst my bubble like that?
Wait, but I'm sorry. I don't.
No.
It is a strength as well as a problem because, of course, without the money and the investment, doing things is difficult. And so this is why, like, I'm kind of going to make a shout out to all Mahjong players. Like, don't obviously, everyone's got different financial means, but we need to find ways in which we can put money into the community. Because Magic the Gathering, they're doing it all the time because they're buying the cards and then that money's getting shoveled into events. Whereas, yeah, I mean,
I'm not producing enough. I need to be a better worker.
The American Mahjong leagues, they buy the card.
Yeah.
They pay for lessons and the money gets shoveled back in. And that's as the person who just spent a while going, I don't really like capitalism, there is a good benefit because if the money moves.
I'm liking this. Each player builds a deck of 40 tiles with custom effects, and they shuffle the decks together each game, and then you can draw these tiles with custom effects. And if you have, the good tiles are worth a lot of money, but the bad tiles are pretty cheap, so you can build like common
Okay, but that's what we don't want that, right? But it's, I think, it's interesting because we were looking at for some reason, I guess there's a lot of fighting game community people who are now playing Mahjong. And so now when I go on Twitter, X, a lot of the stuff I'm being shown is about the fighting game community because Twitter's confused now, I guess. Anyway, but I noticed they're having a big deal at the moment with a lot of their conventions or their events, tournaments. I'm not sure what you do over there. Closing because they just don't have the finances anymore.
Well, it's not just that. I've read some of this too, and I think a lot of the challenges...
I'm just kind of looking at it to see what lessons can we learn to prevent whatever drama is happening over there here.
As someone who's kind of a little bit on the outside of that community, definitely, like I'm not going to claim to have insider knowledge there, so just disclaimer. But part of it seems to be the fact that things are just more expensive right now. Like post-pandemic, prices have shot up and wages often haven't caught up. Part of that fact is, I think, the fact that the expected production value on events, something people were specifically saying was that, like, all these events are expected to have live Twitch streams as well, and all these events are expected to have these things and these other things as well. And it's like, okay, cool, but doing my event cost X, and doing my event with a live Twitch stream costs X plus a whole bunch of dollars and people and effort, and like
and
that's a whole other world of stuff.
The amount of times I was expecting, we can't just you want a live stream. We can't just stick it onto the hotel Wi-Fi. Like
you need to get internet for the streaming. You need to get cameras for the streaming. Yeah. You need to get video equipment for the streaming.
Even if someone brings in, let's say that someone brings the entire rig, it will still cost thousands because I'll have to make sure there's the space there, which means I probably will have to rent more space from the hotel. The camera, the internet drop costs. I mean,
thousands of dollars for a multi-day event. That would be
figures,
thousands of dollars. Is what they will charge.
Five figures, and then even depending on where you are, and I'm looking at the States here. To do a power drop costs money.
Yep.
If they want to plug their cameras in, I have to pay for that.
Because you have to remember, all these things are corporate rates, not human rates, and that's the thing. And that's part of what makes it so harsh is that perspective has been warped by how easy it is to do personally. I can run a stream out of my house. I can stream video games out of my house. Why can't you just stream the video game from the convention, right? It's just that easy. But the problem is it's not, because all these convention centers and hotels are charging rates tailored towards big companies. So it's going to be $500 for your electricity, please. $5,000 for your union internet drop, please. $5,000 for your giant truss, please. Like all these things, all the things that you need to do.
I think that trust cost us a lot more. I can't even remember now.
Yeah, that giant ridiculous trust.
Yeah, you can't bring in your own trust.
Film crew, live edit. Yeah, you can't just truck in your own equipment because they're all union shops. Like you have to use their provider for the equipment. That's the deal.
Yeah, you could I mean, so it depends on, again, this is a country dependent thing. It was a little bit easier to get people in for Vienna. I will say that. However, still large sums of money were spent on the technical aspects. It's all very, I'll just bring my stuff over and we'll just sit it in the corner and do it. But you
can't do it. The venue will throw you out for that.
Then I have to have the investment, and it's really tough. People don't see that aspect, but it was because I noticed one of the fighting game community people went on this rant about how much internet costs, and I was like,
it's like, congratulations, you've run into this awful. I mean, not it's awful, but like. Friend, it's recognition. It's friend. Yes, exactly. You now also get
Like
why
from
you
over here,
go.
I'm like so sad for you. I feel you but
And it's like it's madness because like I'm sitting here in my house. If you can't tell, I have 2 gigabits up and down. I go to a hotel and they're like, we'll give you 100 megabits for $4,000 a day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And I'm just like,
mm-hmm,
what
mm-hmm.
the what is this?
I know. But but then this is sort of the bit problem when you're going, and this is the WRC problem as I see it. We went from small and we're aiming for big,
Hmm.
but we're in this horrifying mid point where you're trying to upscale, but we're upscaling with zero money because there's no product, right?
Right. Well, it's not
and
just that it's not just that the product is limited. It's that right now the audience is in a mid-size
yeah,
size where it's like
exactly.
it's not quite totally niche. It's a bigger audience niche, which is great. There's a lot more people playing,
Mm.
which is great. But it's not quite big enough that you can show it to a sponsor and be like, this is a big old demographic you want to advertise to.
Yeah,
And that's where it gets hard.
precisely.
That's where it gets hard.
Precisely, yeah. And then you really need the angel money, right? You need some sort of investor to be like, right, let's just make this look bigger than it possibly
A
is.
little bit to see if we can start that cycle
Yeah.
of things. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so like, but yeah, I don't really, some of the problems I'm not really sure how to solve, and some of the problems I don't want to make mahjong something that is a product that everyone has to
a
pay.
little bit. Yeah.
I don't want to have people just have to pay through the nose.
So
We need to be more like football, right? Anyone can have a football and just kick it in a field anywhere. It doesn't
Oh, I
cost
thought you
money,
meant
and it
like
shouldn't cost money.
football.
Like, sorry, no, soccer, whatever. Like,
Like
but
American football.
but then this is the strength of the real football is that anyone can play it. It's so cheap. You just need the ball to kick around with your friends, and you can have a great time.
Yeah.
And that should be mahjong. All you really need, unfortunately, you need a bloody table and bloody set. But the table is probably the worst problem. But that's all you should. That's all I really want people to be able to engage with this community. I don't want that financial barrier to be there because apparently I'm a stinking communist, as I've realized as I
Oh
keep
my
talking.
god, I can't believe you're such a communist. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Oh,
I thought
did you not? Did you think that I was like, yeah?
such a communist. I thought you
I
were all about
know.
repressing the workers. So the one last thing that I want to say is just to be entirely self-satisfied about my logo that I like
It's
very
football.
much.
Thank you, Kaya. It's
Um,
football. We actually kick it, not manhandle it across the
don't give it to
pitch.
the okay, the one thing. Oh, is chat not so visible? Chat's not so. Oh no, because I put it on top. Hold on, I've made a huge mistake.
I know it would take. I mean, generally, our stream is looking much more attractive than it
I
was. So
know.
I
I'm
wasn't going to
moving
pick
this
you up
over
on this
slightly.
small problem.
Chat was being covered a little, but I'm gonna brag about my. So one of the cool things that I did with this, I was playing around. So I've been using Adobe Express for this, and it's really quite competent.
It is, yeah.
And I
love
was
it.
very pleased by it. So if you're looking to do cool graphics, Adobe Express is pretty great. And I added that neat fade, the fade on the bottom towards the Sparrow's Nest background color to get the branding colors. I'm so proud. I'm just happy with it. I'm really happy with this image. But yeah, so TLDR, as we've talked a whole bunch about it, we're going to Comic-Con, super psyched. Open to getting volunteers for staff.
Okay, I have another question before we leave Comic-Con.
Yes.
We haven't really spoken about Sparrow's Nest, who is the big person going, the big entity going. If people got to come to Comic-Con as staff, will they also get to see inside the nest?
I mean, you can always see inside Sparrow's Nest because we have our meetup there today. But yes, so we are finishing up. So over this month, basically, we're going to be finishing up all the things that we're getting into Sparrow's Nest. We're going to be getting our wall art in there. We're going to be getting our auto tables in there with custom tile sets. Super cool. We're going to be...
Dave only goes full throttle.
Look, I'm not going to mess around. If I'm going to be like, this space is cool, please come see my cool space, it's going to be cool, and it's going to be worth seeing. We're going to get we're doing Polaroids in there so you can take pictures and get little souvenirs. Like, it's going to be really cool. And so this is why we're going to Comic-Con as Sparrow's Nest Mahjong, because we really
he's got some artwork for the wall, like a full wall mural, and I've been involved in sort of helping him get that together, and it looks awesome.
It's going to be real cool. It's going to be real cool. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be able to do reveals of all these things, of celebrity guests, of cool stuff at Sparrow's Nest, of all this stuff. And it's going to be really exciting. And we want Sparrow's Nest to be your place to play Mahjong in New York City. And again, Chinese Mahjong, American Mahjong, Japanese Mahjong. I love Japanese Mahjong. USPML loves Japanese Mahjong. But we are open for Mahjong because I think it's just a wonderful thing. I think there should be a place for it. And I want Sparrow's Nest to be that place where people can go and just have a good time and chill out and, like, again, do all those fun social things you can do over a game of Mahjong when you're in a place where it's supposed to be. as opposed to like trying to see if you can like grab a table at a coffee shop and get a junk mat to fit on it. Um, just being comfortable, being happy, and like I'm really psyched to be getting going with it. So let's look at a mahjong game.
Yeah, let's look at mahjong games.
Let's look at a mahjong game.
I know we talked a lot. We talked a lot
about stuff. We talked a lot about stuff.
But thank you for your inputs. It's really the part of the reason why I like having these conversations in front of you guys is because you always say stuff that I haven't thought about.
Yes. It's great to have these chats and talk with people about things. Oh, I guess I can also do a very quick status update. Let me make sure I am prepared for mahjong.
Do you have a mahjong game? Because I said I'm not playing mahjong. It's too hot. I don't play mahjong after 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know. Shall I look that up in Fahrenheit?
Let's see if this is right. Have I gotten it?
What is 25 in Fahrenheit? No one uses bloody Fahrenheit. Why are Americans like this? 77. Too hot. It is too hot, and it's Cheryl. You have done here at the beginning. It's just been too hot for too long.
Fascinator, we'd love to have you. I was going to say, if we do it this year, we're doing it next year. I know this year's a bit of a cram.
Yeah, and Pez is now alluding to the fact that over the next month, the British are doing their own mini league to decide who's going to the IORMC.
Ooh.
So there will be more games to review. Yeah, I can submit. And Chiral is the one who has arranged the whole league structure. After I was like, I can't do this. Anyway. I'm really excited. It's not anything I would have put together, but I think Chiral's been really kind of inspired by the Armor structure. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that. So thank you, Chiral, for your hard work, by the way.
My new PC is running a little hot because the only reference I have for Celsius is the temperature of the water in my computer, which right now is 38.5 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty warm, but I don't know what that means because I can't touch it.
It's 27 here at the moment, if that helps, and I'm pretty sure it's hotter inside my house at the moment.
It's definitely hotter in my computer than outside my computer.
Hi, Dave. What are we looking at?
All right, we're looking at a mahjong game. We got a mahjong game. It's an Armor game. It's an A2 level Armor game.
I am psyched about this initial draw, by the way.
Yes. This is a great initial draw. I'm just watching to make sure my poor PC doesn't melt. I always get nervous when it gets up close to 40, but let's see what happens. The ambient temperature is pretty high also because I turned off my air conditioner because I was worried it was making my mic go nuts. But I think it was actually using it for Skype that did that. Anyway, mahjong. Yeah, this is a great start. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, which is could become something. 4 is the Dora. I just drew it. I'm the dealer. The only thing I don't love is that 1, 2, 3 because I'm like, I can't quite just Tanya this out to go super fast. That's the only thing that's like not 100% awesome. But otherwise, is a great start in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. I hope it's just going to play itself. I hope I'm just going to get the draws I need. I'm going to get like a 7-pin. I'm going to get like a 5-pin. And then I'm kind of just like there.
All right, but there's a good question here. Which is your first discard?
Chun. It's got to be.
I might do 5-man, you know.
So this is an Armor game. There's no reds. But if I do get that 4-man, it's in my mind that 4-man is such a great upgrade on multiple fronts.
It is, but as you already kind of identified yourself, you can't call this through easily.
If I get the 4-man, I can get to 3, 4, 5 Sanshoku.
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
It is a bit of a stretch. But if I get that 4-man...
I'm not saying that Chun's wrong. I'm just throwing that out there that
5-man. Oh, you know what you do? You're baiting me with the 5-man initial discard, which is my big power move.
I'll be honestly, I might throw 5-man here because if I pull another Chun, then I've got myself into a calling situation, and I want to call and go fast.
And this hand, because of the shapes, doesn't look like a guaranteed pin fu at all.
Yeah, exactly. I might have to call this hand through, which means I need to find a way to call. And to be even more ballsy, I might, if the 4-man comes out, I might call that into a 2, 3, 4 shape and discard something else because obviously I won't be able to discard the 1.
Yeah, no, I think you got a justification for 5-man here. I think it could work. Even if the 5-man goes and I get the 4, I still get the upgrade from 1, 2, 3 to 2, 3, 4. I haven't lost out on that option.
But I'm just putting it out there. That's how some idiots play. Idiots with the name Gemma.
I mean, it's an Ishan 10 hand, and the 5-man is the tile that doesn't fit. So if you're also just thinking, yeah, I'd reach this on 3rd discard if I get it.
Oh, yeah. Of course you're going to reach it, aren't you? You're not going to...
Yeah.
You're not going to finagle it if you get to Tempai.
Let's see what our hero did. No, they went with Chun.
Yeah. That's a fine discard. I'm not saying...
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong.
That's the classical correct discard. Oh.
Now, this is a great upgrade, but this makes you think. Itsu or no Itsu? I think just from raw shape, you're going to want to throw either... This maybe is still a throw the 5-man situation, because that would let you hold your bet.
Yeah, I'm still wanting to be able to call it if necessary.
I feel like I'd throw this 5-man, and if I got like the one... if I got one of the Itsu tiles, I'd be like, oh god, it's Itsu time. But I wouldn't want to throw the 8-so and eliminate it just to hold the 5-man. If that makes sense.
No, I probably throw the 5-man.
Okay, this player cut the 8 to keep the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shape. Which, to be fair, if they get the 5-pin, they now have Pinfu.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
I mean, you're not going to get your 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku now. That's already gone.
No. You could. You can get another 4. Just draw another door.
You'd have to. I mean, you'd have to get rid of that nice 3-sided shape.
Yeah. Well, but if you get another door, you've completed it. You have 2, 3, 4,
right.
5,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you're not going to get a 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku because with that 5-man, like if you draw the 4 in, like what are you going to discard? It's just
the 1.
You'd go that way.
You just do the very. No. If I drew the 4 here, if I drew the 4 here now, I'd probably be discarding this 4, 6 pin to get the better shapes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Although I love a Sanshoku, I feel like in other situations where I'm not the dealer and I'm going to take some time to see if I can find the value, that's a great conversation. But I'm dealer, I want to go fast.
Yeah. Reach Pin Fudora is still enough. Yeah, I could see dropping 1, 2. Like it's not crazy, but it's the first hand of the game also, so like you kind of want to just get what you get. Oh no. So now we got the 5-7 set over the 4-6 set. Which do we care about?
I mean, I dropped the 4-pin.
Oh, I guess the other thing is the nice thing about dropping the 4-pin here is because I have 6, 8, 8. The 7-pin also gets me a set. Yeah. But they are staying focused, I think, on what they got. They don't want to pick up the 5-7. Now we got a 1 which goes. Oh, this is the problem with these hands.
I don't like that 7-man drop. I gotta be honest. No, I don't like it.
Swappy Doppy, the 2-man. The problem with these hands is they're so close to ready, and you need like 1 tile, and then you never get anything.
That's unfortunately how the game plays. And yeah, there you go.
They got that the second door.
Yeah, but that 9-man. If they'd have dropped the 4-pin, they had a 5, they'd have a 7, then they could have dropped the 6-pin when the 9 came in, and they'd have a 5, 7, 9 shape waiting for a 6 or an 8, and that would have been stronger than what they have now. But it came through. It came together. It came together. But you know, prior to it coming together,
this makes sense. This is reach door 2, 3 Han, 3 and 40. This is where I'd go find this door 2 before. Yeah. All right, we got reach happens. Two players right after the reach immediately attack. So player right. Player right calls 4, 5, 6.
This is
player
like,
cross calls 7, 8, 9.
Do you not think this is typical first hand? Like, it doesn't matter if it's a dealer reach.
This is a little
hand. I just want to win something.
I gotta do something. It's the first hand. I want to get out of the gate. A lot of push there. Oh, here's their 4. Here's their beautiful 4.
Oh.
That could have gotten them over to Tanya, but it's late. I mean, I think taking the reach was a right answer for this. You don't want to sit. It's just always sad to see that come through. 6 gets grabbed for 4. 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku maybe. Either way, player right is pushing this. They do not want to give it up. Player across wins on. So player across. This was a pretty crafty call. 7, 8, 9 into Haku Hat's weight.
That's how you should play it. If you're working on two value sets, then that's
guaranteed value.
Yeah, great.
Things people might throw as safe. This was a smart push.
It's a little bit ballsy in the face of a dealer reach.
A little bit, but on the first hand of the whole game.
Can I see what they dropped? Can I see what they dropped? Just maybe they managed to play safely through it.
Let's open hands here. They had this. They had this hanging out.
Okay.
They swap out the 3-so here. They swap out the other 3-so here to hold that west. Reach happens. This call happens. Now this player, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. They're one call away from ready, but they're just pushing it. The 7-8-9 gets called and the west get dropped. Oh, whoops. 7-8-9 gets called and the west gets dropped. So they have a safe throw, fairly safe. West is fairly safe, and their tempi on value and their tempi on tiles. Other players might well want to drop. So like this is not bad. I think that's a fair play. 2 comes in. The 9. They throw the 9, but with the 7 and 8 out here, this is not a crazy thing to be throwing.
Yeah, so then they can play the rest safe for them. Safe.
The 1 pin is hard safe. The 8 is hard safe. They call to ready on the 5 pin. The 2's risky, but they get away with it. The 9-man is safe.
Yeah, so basically he made the call and he didn't have to. So I'm not saying he just, they
didn't have. Yeah, they didn't have to for at least a few discards.
Yeah.
This 1 is a minor push. The 1 isn't safe.
It's not, and it's Suji on the Dora, so.
Yeah, that was a big push for them, but they did it and they got away with it and they immediately won.
Yeah, you can't see much either. Well, you can see 3 threes. That's not really saying much though.
No, like they got away with it. Well, I can see. Yeah, you can see 3 threes. Yeah, so they got away with it. And they won the first.
I probably would have folded on that with the 1 bamboo. I wouldn't have wanted to stay there.
That would have been. That's a risky. Suji on the door is a risky one, and I wouldn't.
I guess that the player, as a player sitting in the south seat here, is not going to be wanting the 1 at least.
Yeah. So 2 other players don't want the 1. It's safe on 2 players at the table.
Yeah.
And the dealer probably has a bad weight because you can see that they only changed 3 tiles out of their hand the whole time. So they either have a magically amazing hand or they have like a fast hand that they finally got ready and then just slammed. So, because of these 1 cut just before the reach not being called. Oh, this guy.
Pause meta.
Yeah.
You can't do pause meta on Tenhou because they add it in randomly.
Yeah, I wouldn't try pause meta on Tenhou.
No.
Well, there goes our deal. But luck has not abandoned. This isn't an amazing hand. I'm not thrilled by it. What's our first draw look like? Okay.
But this is where we think about the head game. Like you're not feeling great. Like it looked like a good deal.
You're feeling a little bummed.
It looked like a good deal. Didn't really get to anything particularly nice. You had a shitty weight, and then that happened.
Yeah,
and no one respected your dealership.
True. Yeah, that's true. They didn't respect it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It could feel a little frustrating, but you're not out of the game.
Oh no.
Like it was only a tiny win. It was only a tiny bump. Like you're not out of it. So.
But this is where the head game becomes important, right? Is being able to tell yourself that, because this is a hand I wouldn't bother playing too hard. I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't go nuts on this.
No, and so it'd be interesting whether they maintain that sort of exit path.
Hera North, this is actually a pretty sweet thing to have. They can grab it with the last North, or it's very safe. I love having something like that. There's no pause of play might be encouraged. I think it wasn't used to. It's true to some degree.
Wait, stop. Are people not playing with the no call option on? If you don't intend to call, you should be putting that no call option on for this precise this reason right here. And I noticed that when we did the run event a long time ago now, 2020, people were not using the no call or the through option. And lots of the Japanese commented on it, that they were like, do the foreigners not know how to use that? Because they were commenting, it's pausing it, like, basically every go around or every other go around. So I'm having an idea what's going on in their hand now. Use the no call option. Just press it. Just get into the habit.
Really
just get into the habit.
Doing that.
Okay.
It was great because the game. First of all, the game just flows better. You don't have that weird stop. You're like, no, like all the time. And then I should know. I mean, that's another.
I mean, a lot of players don't get that, but you need to get into that habit. Like if you're one of those players, I'm not trying to talk bad about you, but try to start using it where you can. Where you look at your hand, you be like, well, I'm not this hand. No call. Just no call. You're not calling this, are you?
Just not. Yeah, exactly. Like I should have no call on until I specifically decide there's a call that I would even consider.
Exactly. And I think
and at that point I can turn it on.
And I think it gets you into decision-making space as well, because then you're going, right, is this a hand I'm going to open? So then you're not getting to the point where you're like, then a tile that you could use comes down, you're like, should I open? I mean, you should have thought about this before.
It's Strong agree, Kyrell. If you're an intermediate player, you should be using no call almost as a gate for your own thinking.
Yeah.
You should be very clearly thinking like, I am not calling now. Now I'm considering calling.
And then
you should be
the new savage duty then is remembering to turn it off.
Yeah.
And I sometimes wonder, is that why, like, Japanese professional call levels are so low, because they just forget to turn that option off?
They forget to turn off this on all the time, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess I wasn't calling it.
I guess I kind of wanted that value on it.
Well, I guess that's happened. So our player across is just called Chun An East, so this is a rough time for us, and we should be thinking that this hand probably isn't happening. I'd probably start trying to play a little safe here, just because it's not worth throwing in again and letting someone else get plinked down. I'd rather let the other two players fight, because I don't really have anything in this hand worth fighting for.
I've forgotten many times.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay. Open hands.
Do you want me to open hands?
No, I think we're talking about opening to call.
Oh, it's just the idea, the raw idea of open hands is silly. Oh my god. Such wonderful spam.
Yeah, we don't get that much spam anymore. Hi, Ziggy.
Goodbye.
Right. I mean, so I'm looking at this hand. I mean, yeah. I just throw the 8-man.
Really? Why the 8-man?
I don't know, because I mean, you're right. I don't want to throw in, but he's not ready yet.
You don't think? Okay, you think he's just pushing it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
And I don't want to get rid of my safer tiles yet.
Conic. Oh no.
Now I want to get the hell out.
Well, the con extension has only made my delicious norths good.
I know, but you're nowhere near anything.
No, I'm really not. There's nothing good for me. But at least I also know... Oh, this is where it gets iffy.
But
at least I also know that no one else won from that con. At least I know that much. I know that con has not given anyone any
You've lost your exit now. Because now you can't throw those norths as your exit.
I can't.
If it were me and I saw that happen, I would throw them immediately.
Okay, no.
I'd throw them right away.
I can't. Yeah, immediately. Immediately I can throw
them. I wouldn't also hold on to them until like the 12th discard, and then be like, oh, it's my wind. Like, yeah.
I'm also really nervous now, because now player across just threw original Dora.
Yeah.
So they're either ready or they swap their way to something like a north. Yeah. Because they feel like it's more likely to come out as people try to get out of here.
It's hard fold time.
Now is when I'm nervous. Now is when I'm nervous, because I just lost my 2 safes. With this, I've lost these 2 norths to save, I think, definitively.
Yeah. It's time to fold.
Yeah, it's time to get out. And we start getting out by throwing the one cut to our target. It's the other thing. It's possible. It seems rare, but it's real bad if true. It's real bad if you get nailed by that. And why else would they throw a Dora? I can't imagine any other reason. I mean, I guess they could be Tempai on a cheaper hand, but like, ooh, I don't like it. So yeah,
and a nice central Dora as well. It's not like an honor Dora.
Another Dora gets thrown. A 1 gets thrown. A 5-so gets thrown. This is to some degree, I view this as our chance to throw the 5-so, but it looks like this player is suffering from terminal optimism, where they're like, maybe something good will happen, so I'll throw this 2-so if they have a 2-so.
Dang, that's your handle. Terminal optimism.
Actually, it might be.
It is. That's your handle.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm going to write this down.
Because it's Chanter, right? The terminals. It's terminal optimism. That's terminal optimism. We found it. Yay!
I think we did. After all these years, we did it. So the one thing that I'll say, thinking about this, is if the 5-so is safe, they're not on the 2-5 weight. So, like, what would they be on a Tonki weight for the 2? I feel like this 2 is
you're worried about the 2 bamboo here.
Yeah, like the 2 isn't that safe a throw. We can see 3 5s and 3 6s, which is fine.
I mean, I suspect what's happened here. The player is using Suji. The 5 went down. Yes. They think, oh.
So again, we know for sure it isn't the 2-5 weight. We know one thing can't be true. But there are other things that could be happening.
What's going on opposite does not look like a. It's not a pinfu. Yeah. So we cannot say it may very well not be a 2-sided weight, in which case reading that Suji on that 5 is not going to help you.
Yeah, exactly. You've eliminated one weight for sure. Again, like I like to talk about what is true for Suji. We know it's not the 2-5 weight. Yes, that's 100% true. But as Gemma says, she's entirely right. With a hand like we see across from us, what are the odds they're on a 2-sided weight? I mean, not 0, but definitely not like if they're trying to make a traditional pinfu hand or something like that. Like they could be waiting on anything.
I mean, they're unlikely to be waiting. They're unlikely to have 1-3, I guess. They're only going to be waiting on it if it's
a pair.
Unlikely to be a pair of a 6 bamboo drop. I hope it wasn't.
No. I mean, if they have 2 of them, if they have 2 in their hand, and they're completing. If it's a palm, if it's a wait for the pair, why not wait with the door?
Yeah.
Like, why would you avoid waiting with the door to wait on a 2-so? That seems a little silly.
But I
could be 4-7. They could have the last of both of those tiles. That would be real funny. And the 6 could have been them flattening down into 4-7, and that's why you should always think about that. But would I just greed to try to get the third door?
No.
Maybe I think it's not worth it. In other words, if it's...
Why don't you open the hand? Let's have a look.
All right.
Do we want? Yeah, I do want to look. I do. Hi, Mahjong Jen. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Mahjong Jen.
Thank you for rating.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us and rating us.
Jen can give her opinion.
Yeah. They're not even Tenpai.
They're going for a flush. Really? No, they're not. What are they doing?
No. I'm a little confused as to why the 4-man came out when that would have them Tenpai. I'm gonna go back.
Did they disconnect or something? Oh no! Oh my god! You just got cancelled. Why did they get cancelled? That's bad.
They drew this, and they threw the 4-man over the Dora, because they could wait on the Dora if they got, because they have 6, 7, 7, 8, right? So if they get a 4-7, they can go that and wait on the Dora for the pair, which makes sense to me. But then when they draw the 5, they throw the Dora. I guess thinking they have a lot more ways to get ready, or they could get a flush out of it. Maybe they're now pivoting.
Could end up
in that
could
direction.
End up furry ten.
Yeah, that's a tricky pivot.
I like that.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no. Well, it's always good to see you, Jen. Thanks for joining us.
Sleep well. It's late. Go and rest.
It's all good. It's crazy late for you. Get some rest. And we'll see you soon.
Very soon, hopefully.
Yeah, this is a little tricksy here. And now we get our 6, and so we start having our terminal optimism, so to speak, where we say maybe.
Oh no, we could do it. Oh no. Sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Midnight crisis.
The mom life.
Yeah, I'm just a sad alone man.
So, Jen, next time you come, you have to talk to me about Pixar's Cars, because I'm sure you've had to see it, and I've got a lot of opinions that I need to share.
A long conversation about cars. Can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so now our player right gets aggressive. I guess we'll play the rest of this with open hands. We've opened them up already. Let's just do it. Player right gets aggressive, throws this. This is a risky throw. I don't know if I would have done this. This is a gutsy throw.
Who do you think it's gutsy
to? Having seen this 6 come out, I would imagine it could have been out of flattening a 4-7 weight. I know it's not a 5-8 weight because a 5 came out, but it could still be that 4-7 weight that they could be going to grab, like East Chundora.
I guess so.
Why else would they throw the Dora if they weren't like getting into Tenpai? Would be my thinking.
Hey, I don't know. Honestly, maybe I'm just a little bit perturbed by when you opened it up, and I just don't get that Dora throw. It's pretty.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by the Dora throw. This player pushes 3, so all the 6 is out, so 3 may be fine. 2-pin, 4-man safe. 8. This is 5-8 is safe. 8 doesn't seem too crazy. So now we're Tenpai here, but not really on anything. So we've taken kind of an empty Tenpai. This comes out.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, if you're gonna go for the flush, you gotta keep going, no? Or they're just going for the draw even at this stage. That's an early.
How strange. Player across misses their opportunity to get into flush position, actually.
Yeah.
By not holding this hots, by just throwing the hots, they don't commit. And so they miss. I think everyone's trying to wiggle a little too much. Everyone's doing a little too much wiggling, and they're wiggling themselves like out of
Although our intrepid hero is doing quite well.
Our intrepid hero just keeps drawing the right tiles, so they're fine with it. I wouldn't complain. Oh, we're Still temp. Well, no, we dropped Tempai here to throw the 9-pin. Oh, wait. Maybe what they did here is they threw the 8-pin because it's hard safe.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fair enough.
They took Tempai with hard safe. Okay, yeah. No, I see what's going on. Yeah, they're wiggling a bit, but they're trying to stay safe. And now they drop the 9-pin because it's also hard safe.
No.
And they don't want to throw the 9. Yeah, it's hard safe on this side.
All right, yeah, no, they're 7 down. Yeah, so I just think we...
No, I was going to say, I feel like they're not dumb. They should know what they're doing. I see what they're doing is they're just playing. Yeah, they're playing very safe. And here's our reach, where we're just like, all right, we finally did it. And we get reach Dora. So this is a Mongon reach that we've been able to sneak out in the face of this monster hand across from us.
Would you reach it?
You got it.
Really?
It's not Pinfu.
It's not Pinfu. You got it.
Because of those norths. You got
Pinfo. Yeah. You got it. You're right. I forgot I'm in north.
Yeah,
sorry.
Pinfo.
I
mean, I think the player on the right is also just trying to wiggle. It feels like they're kind of throwing based on their reads of what they think is going on, and then sometimes hard safe.
Yeah.
And so, like, I see what they're doing over there. They're kind of
they're hoping they can end up in the draw situation. They are East, remember? They are East. They don't, you know.
They're the dealer. They really don't want to give it up.
But that pushes them off, and they play hard safe.
They play hard safe on the reach.
Yeah.
Not safe on the open hand, but with the con, they definitely don't want to be in a position where they
can't see the doors.
Yeah, they can't see any. Well, they can see the 6s, but not the north. Someone has them. They know someone has them, and if it's going to be someone, it's probably going to be the north player.
Yeah.
So they do that.
That's good. So it sucks for them in their dealership, but yeah,
a little bit.
Strength, it's the strong way to play that one.
Our intrepid across player has made it to Footy 10 Tempai. And they can throw hard safe, so that's good for them. Haku's hard safe. 6-pin comes out. 9-pin, yeah, we're probably using hard safe across, and Suji. They also can see most of the 7s and 8s.
Yeah.
So 9-pin is a reasonable play there. People playing forward.
I mean, you probably could have gotten away with the 9-man there. 8-man's early on, you know.
3 8-mans are dead.
You can't. You can only see 1 7. You can say 2 7s. Yeah.
No, they're doing it right. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
And they sumos it on a 4-man.
Footy 10, love it.
Footy 10 sumo. This is so.
You love to see it.
It's so.
But now our hero's head game is gonna be shot to hell.
This would get me frustrated. Doing pretty good, hanging out.
You wanna hide your the hands again before we go on?
Yeah, let's hide the hands again so we don't see them continuing. But oh my god, this would make me so sad. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna chase rabbits. I'm gonna go back and chase rabbits and see what the wall would have been, what our flips would have been. A 7-pin and a 5, so it would have been 2 extra Dora. So this would have been reach Dora 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would have been Hanemon. Oy.
Yeah, never be afraid of Footy 10. Never be afraid of Footy 10.
Oy.
But I would be afraid of the Dora a little bit more. Especially a nice central one like that.
Oy, God. Oy, oy, oy. My heart. All right. We continue forward. Hello. This says Itsu maybe to me.
So is it like maybe. Call me maybe, but Itsu maybe?
Yeah, call me. Look, here's my tiles. This is crazy.
See, I'm never sure whether Dave's gonna get the pop culture references, but I guess one was so
Harley
big.
Ray Jepsen performed for me in Florida like a year ago at my company party.
Really, she sang that song?
Yeah,
I didn't know she had any other songs. Curiously, one of my friends, because she went to Japan to do a video there, and one of my friends appeared in her video, and I was like, I know that guy.
That's really funny. Yeah, no, she was there, and Coldplay was there. It was nuts.
But Coldplay will play anywhere.
I know. But, like, it was nuts. Probably a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people.
I mean, she doesn't have to do anything else in her life now, right? Surely the royalties on that song.
She's got that song, and she can just, like, live off it if she wants to.
I mean,
but I mean, it's a catchy song.
It is catchy. Sometimes I'm not sure if you know. Sometimes you know Taylor Swift references, sometimes you don't. I don't know.
Oh my god. No, I don't know anything about Taylor Swift. Oh my god. Okay, so once again, before we even get to draw a tile, our player across has called 2 honors.
Dealer. Maybe big dragons.
So let's talk about this. What do I do? Now, I could throw a West. What if they want a West too? Like, what if they're going nuts on honors? Like, should I be scared of that, or should I just do it anyway and not worry about that?
I mean, I thought you wanted to go for an Itsu.
Well, I was considering it before all of this mess immediately.
Oh, you see, I don't know. I'd be wondering if I could outspeed them still.
I did not link this for a specific reason. I didn't know anything about the details of this match.
This is curse game.
It might be.
And once we've all watched it, you can't get rid of the curse. You'll see like Yakumans in the mirror behind you until you get them.
I might just go by it can't be that good theory and throw the 8. So
yeah, I mean, I think this is where styles diverge. I'd be tempted to, yeah. I mean, I'd still probably throw the 8 but my mindset here is, can I outspeed them? I want to see a couple of discards, and I might be able to outspeed them. Because I can for sure tell you, with that, they're thinking big 3 dragons. And everyone thinks you can get big 3 dragons really quickly once you've got 2 locked in, but it gets really slow.
Yeah. By the way, Baraki said, like, it's fine. Like mistakes happen. Like, never, we've all chomboed. I think we've had our we've all chomboed conversation a few times on the stream, and it's still true. We've all chomboed at some point. So, like, it is frustrating.
I've chomboed I've chomboed in every WRC, and I have did I chombo in the first one? I definitely chomboed in the last 2, and I chomboed in the last 2 European Championships.
Oh jeez.
And I
never chomboed in any of those because I just like refed and organized.
I don't know. I will say sometimes it's because especially for WRC, like my mind is kind of always scanning to see the next problem in the room, but also I don't know. Chombos happen. I think it's not a mark of you've done something. The game state just needs correcting, right? Everyone trips. It's not that you've done anything, but there's nothing wrong. It's not bad.
Again, if you're chomboing because you're doing it deliberately or trying to cheat, there are other problems with you, and maybe you should think about that. But if you chombo because you make a mistake, you're a human who made a mistake. So I might looking at these tiles, I might just like, is -30 on your score? That's a pretty standard chombo penalty. The cats are -30 is.
-30 or -20? I can't remember anymore.
No, I mean, I'd call -30 a pretty normal thing for a tournament with any expectations. Like if you want to specifically be an open beginner friendly tournament, you might want to drop it.
I want to know what the UMA is to justify a penalty of 30. 20, I would say, if you're using 515, 20 is standard. 30 is a little punitive if you're using 5 and 15.
Yeah, compared to UMA, 30 is a little harsh. Padagisa,
okay. If your UMA is 30-10, you're already using a very, very punishing UMA, so Chombo goes up as well. So, and to be honest, your Chombo should probably be 40 at that point.
I'd say it's true that in like at WRC, for example, like the rules around what's considered a chombo are stricter because the level of play is stricter, but like dealing the first tile too fast as dealer is not.
Right.
There's no speed requirement for the very first tile.
That'll be that's a scenario that is a problem. So let's say let's say you discard the first tile too fast as dealer, and you put yourself into a situation where you don't have the right number of tiles. I think the problem here lies in the way too few and too many tiles have become a stricter penalty. And the reason for that is purely because this is how people cheat. The big cheating scandals we've had in Europe, and obviously they have them in Japan, but they are always because people are palming tiles in and off the table. And the way that gets spotted is usually because they've got too few tiles or too many tiles. The other problem, of course, of discarding the first tile too fast as dealer is you could put someone else into a situation where they don't have enough tiles for their hand and put them into maybe a dead hand situation or something else.
When we say too fast, do we mean like before you've actually drawn your entire
I presume
hand?
That's what too fast here means. Yeah. So we have had situations where the dealer pulls all their tiles, no one's taken their last tile yet, but the dealer's already discarded something. So basically, you've just put all 3 other players into a situation where they don't have enough tiles because the game has started, but they haven't had an opportunity to draw. And people can and have used that in Japan to put people in those situations where they then have to be penalized.
Good morning, Sarah.
So
right. Okay, that makes sense.
Too fast
if too fast means before everyone else is.
Right, no, in WRC that would not be penalized. Like, it's then up to South to decide when they want to draw. And if these, like, again, and I will say this, and maybe I'm going to get spiky now. When you draw your tiles, do try to put them face up as you select them. Don't do this weird thing that people do and like have them in a little wall in front and then like pick one by one to put them up, or like. And other times, or they like put them all and then they turn them all up all at once. I'm like, start looking at your tiles straight away.
I used to do that separately, but yeah, just put them up. Just put them up.
No, I think that's a misinterpretation of WRC. I mean, you should. It's polite, and you should give everyone an opportunity to look at their hand. If someone is being ridiculously slow at looking at their hand, you call the ref and you ask the ref to speak to them. If they are, but if you are just quickly like throwing tiles out as quickly as possible and you're not giving anyone a beat. I mean, what I do is when I'm the dealer and I know I'm quite fast, I pull my tiles, I sort them very quickly, and I'll throw. And usually what I do is I look around for a second and then I put my tile down and I'll even say it out loud, like South or whatever. And then it's on the side.
Yeah, by my interpretations of etiquette, or the ways I've usually played. Nothing in the game can happen before the dealer makes their first discard. So it's generally, what I generally tell people is, you pick up your tiles, you look at them, the dealer can, everyone gets their tiles, and then the dealer can make the first discard. And at that point, because nothing can really change or happen before that point, that's the point where we wait. And we make sure everyone's ready, comfortable, understands their hand, and the next player should be waiting to proceed until they see that everything is
so
good.
I'm really interested about it. Where are you located? Because I also don't think it's a problem in EMA rules. I have never, like, the only situations where I've heard.
Yeah, I also have never.
I mean, I've heard penalty. I've heard warnings being given. I think I've only heard one chombo being given when there was a dealing problem, but the deal problem was so severe. Again, after these chombos come out, because you go over and you look at the table like, how the hell have you achieved this? And the only thing you can do is give them all, is get a chombo to get the game back into the right state, unfortunately. But no, I mean, people might come over and ask you to play faster or look at your tiles properly. I wouldn't personally wait for someone to sort their tiles. No.
It really depends on what sorting your tiles means. Because when I think about it, I think of someone just being like thump, click, 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 good. But if it's someone being like taking 5 minutes and literally,
I mean, I have waited for people to turn all their tiles over, but I think that's a real problem. I'm not sure. Like, the community needs to handle it. The community just needs to work out how to deal their tiles faster. No, don't miss. But I'd be really interested if you do hear someone with a nice example for me. It'd be great if you could send it through to me, because I'm always interested, because there's always this diversity in practice that we see in places like Europe. WRC, because, you have the rules director, Sylvain, and you have me, Loud, and we only have to manage 1 or 2 events. The stuff that happens under us, I think, is fairly consistent because we're all on the same page. However, when you look at EMA, the rule set, there's no one person really managing that rule set or helping with interpretations. And this is where, and I have seen, this diversity, the countries going in different directions, which is why I'd really like to hear if someone's got an example, or if something happened at WRC even. Often there's a good explanation, and other times I'd be like, no, actually something's gone wrong here. But I love talking about rules. But yeah, WRC is cruel at the moment if you're playing the hardcore rules, but you can also mod it and just take off the nasty chombos, really. If you aren't playing in the event, just take off the nasty chombos. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're not expecting championship level play, then don't.
Curiously, my chombo in 2022 was because I didn't have enough tiles. I canned and I forgot, because I hadn't played. That was my first comeback after COVID. So I'd lost. Like, I thought I was doing quite well with the muscle memory, but then I canned, but I forgot to take my replacement tile. So I had too few tiles, which is a chombo. So I
Ah,
called the chombo
and
on
that's why you should
myself.
never count.
So if anyone complains about the harsh penalties, at least I do it on myself. Yeah.
Ate your own, took your own medicine, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, the thing is, if you're not playing competitively, generally, if you are in a casual, friendly setting, my opinion has always been, if the table agrees, just take it back. Like it's fine. If everyone agrees that no one's cheating and they're fine with it, just take it
And
back.
even if you're playing
Like
in a
it's
competitive
not.
setting in America or Europe and you want to use WRC rules, just take those penalties out. We've got the document, just take them out.
Adjust it to the level you're comfortable with.
There's no
For
need to
your
make yourself
scenario,
sad.
like yeah, there's no merit in punishing your friends. Like it's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, people have asked me
So what do
before,
we
can you
do?
remove these because you want to play a competition? And you don't have to ask my permission, just take them out.
So what? Two little tiles, I think, was also too many and too little. Traditionally, were just a dead hand, right?
Oh God, and this was part of the problem because, and this was part of the reason we were aligning with Japan because they've been having these problems. But there was a difference depending on whether it was too few or too many, and at what state of the game. And I can't remember what the old way was. Forgive me, but there were problems specifically in Japan because the auto table. People are used to the auto tables dealing their tiles, but the dealer would have to take
Take that
their one
one
extra
extra
tile, and that
tile.
tile often got forgotten. And this was a
Yes,
particular
I have one
problem
of
in the
those.
Sai Kyosen tournament because whereas professionals tended not to forget, amateurs would.
And they'd be really stressed out.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just get their hand and flip it up and go, and then like 5 discards in, they're like, oh crap.
yeah. So, but then they've had a lot of problems, and they just wanted to make it one blanket. If you have too many, too few, it's a chombo. Not to get into situations. It's a dead hand. It used to be dead hand, right?
Used to be dead
But
hand,
they
yeah.
didn't want to get into situations where there were these questions about whether it was because of this or this or this. So they just made it a chombo. And then because WRC is trying to align as many rule sets as possible, and there was a lot of push, we aligned as well. And I do see the argument that it is a big problem. It does create large problems when you have too many or too few hands, too few tiles.
Too few tiles, yeah.
So
And yeah, the cat stir time is always tough. Time is always tough. It's hard to know what the right answer is. Like you want beginners to feel welcome. You want people to feel like they can take their time, but at the same time, like again, to go to my JPML dojo stories, like they do hanchons in 50 minutes, and it's no problem.
I mean, with WRC,
That's
I think
great.
most people do finish their games. But that's just
Yeah,
an
most
experience level.
WC
But
games
and I
finish.
think sorry, I'm just ranting now. But another thing, I think there's a preference in Europe and maybe America, Dave can correct me, to move to when you want to penalize a mistake at the table is to go to a dead hand because it's seen as softer. The argument would be that it's too soft because really you're allowed to then fold. And considering folding is most of the game in Ricci, are you really penalizing them? And then you get into these situations where, let's say, two or three dead hands are offered on a table, then everyone knows that, well, that person's out. And it just fundamentally changes
Yeah,
the game.
yeah.
So,
You change the game state in such a way where it's like
yeah,
it's almost like having a disconnect
yeah,
like having a disconnected player on Tenhou where it's like, oh well, they're just a tile fountain now.
yeah,
It's not quite as bad, but like it's a
yeah, because,
little
but then, like being told you can fold might be a
90 minute
benefit. I think I
hanchan.
got a dead hand in the UK Open and I was sat there and I was like, oh, thank you, because I would have been tempted to play it. And actually, I should have folded it. So there you go.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a great conversation to have. I don't think there's a right answer, and I don't think these answers are set in stone. You can ask me again in 2,
no.
3, 4, 5 years, and my answer is going to change again because the community change, the problems we're facing will change.
You know what I found?
Yeah.
I found my Farnham Town seal pin. But so with regards to play speed, I think it's rough. I think there have been people I've encountered people who are real play speed snobs. They're like, oh, you have to play fast. You have to play fast. My personal opinion is you should. There's two things to know about stuff like that. Essentially, number one is you should have speed of play in your head. As you learn, you're going to be slow because you're thinking and you're figuring it out, and that's fine. But you should just remember in your head that being prompt is something you kind of want to do. And I think the other thing is remember there's always more mahjong. Like, at the end of the day, you're just going to have to choose to discard something and you're going to keep going with your hand. And don't worry, you'll play another game where you have a similar decision to make. Like, there's more time. You don't have to agonize over every decision every single time. And the more you can flow through games and just let the decisions come and roll with them, the better it'll get like ingrained.
I think maybe this comes out of like we get a lot of competitive people coming to these events, right? And they want to win, and it's always interesting to me that they're like, but I wanted to think so I could win, and I'm like, it's your first tournament. You're probably not going to win, and that's okay. Like when I first went to Japan and I sat down and I played, and I'd only been playing with my friends, and I went to Japan and I played at this Jansol, and like just the speed, I didn't play at all. I was just picking up tiles and just discarding them, just going, geez, what the hell's going on here? And that was the experience that I needed to have at that point.
That was, I mean, you're right, Peasanator. Like, it really sucks when that's like the one event you got to go to this year. You know, like you don't want to just sit at the one event you got to go to and let it like flow by because you're trying to like keep up or move fast or something like that. And that's a hard balance for people because they want to. They want to enjoy it. They want to have fun. Really,
I don't think you're taking 5 seconds per discard. You're not. I mean, 5 seconds is a long time.
5 seconds might be longer.
Yeah. I mean,
5 seconds is usually what I'd be like. Like, you know, I need to think about this for a minute.
I'd make the sorry noise. Ooh, sorry. I mean, you can definitely, but that's the thing. Like most of the time, right? You should know. And then if a reach happens or something else happens to the table, and you be like, okay, now I'm going to take my 5 to 10 seconds. I'd say it was even okay.
Yeah. And everyone gets a few of those again. Everyone, even the best player, everyone gets a couple of those every game. It's like if you just are like, look, I need a minute or two. Sorry, everyone. Like, give me a second. Like, people should be fine with it.
This dexterity is a
dexterity is tricky, but just raw speed you can train yourself if you choose. Discard the moment. Yes. As soon as just Mopai and throw.
Don't Mopai. That's how you make terrible errors.
What? Well, don't rely. I always try, but I confirm by looking. I think it's very rare that I would.
You can tell if I've Mopai'd on my face when if I'm reachy and I'm Mopai'ing. You can tell on my face like jeez. But yeah, no, I mean, let's generally in the pro circuits, Mopai is not considered particularly good behavior.
Then I flick it mocks, but yeah.
I mean, you should always look at it, right? Like when they say Mopai, they usually mean like feel the tile and then throw it without looking at it. If you feel it and then look at it, that's fine. Don't feel it and then throw it.
I once in a great while can feel it and throw it, but only if I feel 1,000% confident.
Or it's the white dragon.
Yeah, Mopai is when you use if it's a white dragon, red dragon I can usually get.
Mopai.
If I don't want any wind and it's a wind, like I know I'm just like
Mopai.
More pie. Mopai is a term for feeling the tile.
It's a lot of pie.
So what do we do? We've neglected this poor hand for a while. What do we do?
We were deciding whether you were saying I don't want any part of this. I was saying I want to see if I've got a little bit more time once this person thinks they can get through big dragons.
Then it's 8-so.
Yeah, I think it's 8-so either way. But the mentality is you want to be in the right mentality. It's subject to penalties.
Well, our hero is
no, but it depends whether you offer me any pie.
Oh, now we got another Dora.
Oh, dude, I want to do it. For the 5-so.
Yeah, the double Dora means Itsu isn't happening.
No, it's not.
And we might want to throw this 1 pin, maybe, to get into Tenhou Town.
I want to throw the 5. I don't know.
Yeah, we're still at the Dragon's Head.
I'm feeling super aggressive on this hand for some reason.
Well, now the West comes out, which is also a push. That's fine. I think it's fine to throw the West.
I am West.
Although we're West. Yeah, we might not have wanted to do that. North goes. East goes. Oh, we're getting nothing. We're having a game where we just don't. Okay, here we go. We fill in our 4, 5, 6.
Well, now you got to throw the 1 pin. Now we've taken this route.
Maybe the 9 pin.
I mean, I throw the 1 pin thinking I'm going to start calling into a Tenhou.
Yeah,
that's
2, 3,
the word.
4, 4, 5. Yeah, but they threw the 9. They keep the 3 through. Okay, so now we have 3, 4, 5. But this is I guess you can get 5, 6, 7, or 2, 3, 4 on this side. They have a few call options here.
So I'm thinking opposite is going flushy.
Ooh. Well, opposite throws a white dragon, which is a big relief to me in this scene. Even if it gets called, I'm very happy to see this. Thank God. 1 pin is hard safe. Yeah, 1 pin is Oh, and then it ends. So they threw the white dragon to get Tenpai, and then they immediately sumo on the 4.
I want that player's luck. I mean,
Gee, this is 3 hands in a row of these like fast little sumos. Ah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
frustrating. Oh, I'd be so frustrated.
You know what? I'm going to commend them because I would have assumed they'd get greedy and start throwing those 5 pins out.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
none of
Well,
these are my
I
hands. None
mean,
of these are my hands.
but they're the dealer, so they might as well just
I'm
take it. They
Mercedes.
might as well just take it. Jeez. Oi, all right. So we've had a bad time and a bad time and a bad time. This looks like a good
Does
hand.
it?
I like this. We got 7, 8, 9. We got 4,
It's
5, 6.
nothing.
We got
There's no
7, 8. We got 1,
value.
3,
No
5.
value.
Yeah, but I can bump that dude off his deal with a nice little quick pin foo. I'll take it.
Okay.
I got my pair now. I should probably throw the 8 and flatten is what I do
Yeah.
here. Because now I'm Ishan 10. Yep, exactly. I'm Ishan 10 on that 4 pin. And maybe this is my time to shine, except I get a south, which gets called by south. I get an 8. I'm interesting. So what makes this a little interesting now is I'm flirting with like vague, weird Sanshoku territory. What do I do?
No. I mean, you got to keep the 6 man because you want to keep the 4 man in case you get the 3 man. So throw the 5 pin.
Yeah, so I would cut. You can cut the 3, 5, and I might cut it from the 3 side because 5, 6, 7, 8 is a little better.
Nah, throw the 5
Oh, they
pin.
walk. They walk with the 9, which I think is a. I think it's suboptimal because you have these ones pretty locked in. So you're not going to be getting to Tenhou anytime soon. Shun gets called by our Kali player across, so there's already action. She gets called by... Everyone's just going, and we're drawing nothing. Nothing. This is a bad game for us. Okay. With this, we could throw the 1 pin.
Yeah, you have to, really. But
and say that we can get towards callable Tenhou.
I know, it's depressing, isn't it? I really feel for this player. Like, we've all sat here doing this, right?
Yeah. They let the 4 pin go, which is a little interesting.
What is it? I don't. I mean, you're not gonna want to be waiting on 6, 9, are you?
Well, 3 8s are out. It might come out, but they get the 9 and then they reach with the 5 to wait on the 2. And this is just disappointing. This is reach. This is nothing.
But there's only 2 2s left.
Ah, but they do sumo it. For once, okay. we get some luck. We make it happen. We sumo it. We get no flip, but we do get reach sumo. And reach sumo gets us up to 28-5, which is 2nd place. So we did our math here. We had a frustrating time. Neat. And yeah, we got ourselves into 2nd place. So hey, it's East 4. We're in 2nd place. We get this, which is not that exciting. No, I throw maybe the 1 man.
Should we go to the 6 discard because we are? Someone kept ranting. I'm not sure who that person was.
I don't know who did that. 4, 5, 6. So here we are. Oh my god, I got so many sounds that happen. What a rough time for us. We've gotten very little of value out of this. We missed a Chun. 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku. We can get rid of this 1 pin. Yeah, we can get rid of this 1 pin.
I know, but where are you going from there?
Tenhou vibes.
You got.
Oh, and there's a reach across the table also. So throwing the 1 pin, it's Suji on the 4
I know,
pin.
but there's no safety after this.
There's a 4 pin.
Wait, you should have thrown the 3 pin. Oh yeah, I would have thrown. You should have thrown the 3 pin after it came out.
3 and the 4 pin is hard safe, but we threw the 1.
I'd have thrown the 3 pin
so
there.
That's a little hard.
This is about the folding order now, but the 3 pin should have come out first.
Now the 4 pin.
Yeah, but the problem is they've allowed that 3 pin to become live again.
Yeah, they should have killed it when they could have killed it. So now we're Ishanten on Chitoi. We've gotten into a strange place, but what can we throw if we want to keep it? We can't. What can we throw?
You could.
The 9 man?
Okay, let's change this question. What can you throw that is safe?
North is the most safe out of
Yeah.
everything here,
But
but it's not
but
hard
none
safe.
of your pairs are safe. So you're going for
No.
it or you're going for it. So you're going for it.
Yeah, we got it.
I don't. So now, yeah, now you're
And
gonna.
North is a good weight is the problem. North is a great weight for my Chi toy.
No, I think you've got to prioritize what's going to be slightly safer. And the problem there, you've got 2 tiles adjacent to Dora. Getting rid of those to you know.
Oh, thanks for following Nashibik. Nashibik. I'm gonna say Nashibik, but thank you for Nasibic. Sorry, no H before. Nasibic. Nasibic. Thanks for following us. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just
We go
I just
with
throw the
North,
north,
and we get
yeah.
away with it. And then we deal in on the 9-pin. Yeesh. This is
It's fine. It's your dealership now. It's all going to be good.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like,
Come
okay,
on,
that's fine.
Give me the tiles.
Another player lost points. First place gained points. I'm hanging out. That's good. What do we got? What
Come
do we
on,
got?
come on.
Well.
Yes.
Obviously,
Yes.
this is 9 gates.
This is the time.
This is 9 gates. We're going to do 9 gates. Yeah, you can follow
Thanks,
us.
Pez.
Thanks, Pez.
Yeah, oh, hi from Finland. Yes, sorry, I didn't want to out you. I didn't want to out who you were. Come back to the scene. The scene is always waiting for you. No one was in the scene for the last 3 years because COVID, so.
2, we get the Haku out. Get the Hots out. Well, maybe the Hots is a bit of a push. Throwing the 8 to keep the 6s. Well, the problem is we are Isha 10.
Yeah.
So we hold it. So dreaming of flush isn't happening.
This is the widest way to get to Tenpai.
We throw the 2. Okay, we throw the 1 to hold the 6s because this actually gets
Tanyo.
Yeah,
we call it. Tanyo. Yeah,
and possibly 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku.
Nice. Yeah, you got to call it now.
Yeah, I would take.
You take the no call button off.
But we draw nothing forever. We get the bad side of it. Do we reach it? We do.
Oh, of course.
We just slam it. It's reach Dora, but we're the dealer. We want to see if we can climb and get somewhere.
Yeah, Issa was just, I know. Even you've got to have speed at this point.
No, I think it's fine to have gotten rid of
Itsu. We just put that down the Aku sheet to make you do stupid things.
Player across challenges, which is frustrating because now I'm nervous.
Well, you don't have to be.
6-pin and 9-pin have come out, which makes 3-pin slightly more likely to be dealt by someone trying to be safe. We sumo it. All right. Our sumo game is pretty decent this game. This becomes Reach Sumo Dora, 3 and 30, 8,000 points, which brings us up to 35.5, and brings first place down to 36.7. So now we're in a good spot. Now we're in a solid second place with Reach to first place. It's still only South 1. Pretty good. And we draw this, which is a little interesting. I don't know how I feel about this.
These are the hands. I always play badly.
Don't know how I feel about this. This is an interesting one.
You've got to wait for a few draws and discards. No, I don't. No,
do I want to just flush this?
I wouldn't be throwing that north. This? Yeah, I'd be throwing the 2-pin.
I know. I'd be thinking about flushing it.
Is it going to be a flush? Is it going to be a toy? I don't know yet. I'm not. Ooh, this person aggressively hates honors.
Goofy play here. Yeah, they don't like honors. The honors are gone. I think the concept of the flush is See, now we're getting into an interesting zone of potential.
Did they know they were going to draw the 2-pin? Because that's really, yeah.
Oh, no. They missed their Suanko shot here. Because I probably would have thrown this Riso just because I'd be like, I'm not going to.
No, because if you draw the 2, then you're Tenpai.
I know. It's
the real question is here: do you call? It doesn't call it. Oh no!
This is why they call me swinging for the fences, Dave.
Why do we play this game?
Because I would have thrown it. I would have been like,
no, I'm having.
Let's just lock it in.
This game's not fair. That's not fair. This game's not fair.
Let's just lock it in.
Why would you throw the 3 over the 6? There's no reason to throw the 3 over the 6. The 6 is the right move because if you get the 2, then you're Tenpai and you're dealer and you're going fast.
I know. No, you're right. You're right. Structurally speaking, you're right. But I feel like if I remember right, and maybe this is from that Chitoy guy's book, it's that you don't want tiles near each other because they're bad luck when you're trying to make something parry or pungy. And I would have just been like, you know what? Let's just lock it in. We're not gonna have some weird wait where we maybe don't get our Suanko because we get the third one so and now we're waiting on 2, 3, 5.
There's no difference between the 3 and the 6, even if that's the case. Yeah, whose book
There's a
is
big
this?
difference.
Thank you, Siri. This is a bad book. Don't read the book.
The difference is that I drew the 6. I didn't call this 1. The 1's now going to be my pair, and I get all 3 6s, and I cry forever. I get a 4th 9-pin because it's friggin' Pong time forever. Concealed Connet, apparently.
Yeah, of course. You just want...
Get a 4th 6 so. Look.
Oh.
And I'm just at this point.
Okay?
I'm just playing forward.
Check up on this player?
I don't think this player's okay. Yeah, I'm just playing forward right now. I throw the 3 so here. Finally, after all that time, I get my Tenpai and I reach on 2-pin 1 so, which is
this player's not okay. Should we check his Facebook or something? I don't know who they are.
No, they've got to be. I'd be real unhappy. I'd be real unhappy. And we play forward. And what happens? What happens? What happens? Nothing happens. We're just Tenpai. This reach was a wait on 3-man only.
I mean, where's your head going to be at after that nonsense?
This would ruin me. I'd be so mad. These 3. No, the con wouldn't have done much for me. The con would have drawn me a 4-pin, which is interesting, but it wouldn't have done anything for me. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, if they had hit it would have been amazing. But I mean, how can you? There's no skill. There's no skill in this world that would help you with that situation.
Yeah, there was no. This was a fairly randomly chosen replay. This was randomly chosen. This is rough. You're right. You're absolutely right that holding the 3 was a better structural choice.
But there was, if there was a 3 on the board and you were like, well, I'm going for the big shot, right? Then I'd say, okay, throw the 3 and keep the 6. But there wasn't a 3 on the board when he threw the 6. So they were the same. Yeah. They were exactly the same. Apart from unless you're in some crazy land where you think that you should isolate your tiles and command and conquer that way. I don't know.
That's what I thought. I mean, our player to our right avoided it because they were pushing something similar to some degree, and they were holding their pairs. They were pretty close to Chitoy themselves. I think they might have broken. They might have gotten away from Chitoy.
These people, that's not a Suji trap. I don't think anyone throws into that anymore. No one throws into that.
No, that really wasn't a trap. Yeah. I didn't feel like that was that obvious. Rough times. We keep our deal. Although it's actually 156. We might want to jump ahead to the very end of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So here in the last round of the game, wow, there's been some motion. We've fallen off a little bit.
Wow, it's close.
We're in third place now. It's real close. And so this is the exact kind of round where we need to be like, exactly what do we need to do here?
The answer is draw better tiles, because that sucks.
Yes. The answer is also anything. Any hand we win wins us this game. Because there's 2 reach sticks and 600 points on the table.
There are. So everyone's going to be going hella fast.
So 3,600 points for us gets us to 33-4.
Yeah.
Exactly. So even any 1,000 point win gets us.
Yeah, but I always miss the reach sticks, which is why Tenhou need to put them graphically on the board.
Yeah, make them more visible.
Because if you're going through replays like this, it's so easy to miss them. But but everyone's going fast, right? Everyone. Or
Oh wow.
Me.
Crazy cast.
Me, the 3 players who are, right at the top at the moment, top, if you can call it that, are going to be going hard and fast because you said anything wins now. Anything wins. And East is going to go hard and fast because, of course, just getting the second dealership is a win.
Anything helps them. Their win here is another shot at this. Also, like a Mongon wins it for them. A dealer Mongon wins it for them.
But they can go hard, fast, and cheap because it's fine. They just get another draw.
Everyone just wants to go right.
Yeah, so you have to go. I mean, I I would
great.
almost
We
be
draw the
tempted.
5.
I mean, not with that draw, but I'd almost be tempted to start
Dealer goes
thinking about
east.
the hardest flush of all time.
Finish 2. So like we're
See,
getting
no,
some
but that's what I'm
Tenhou
saying.
material
I would
here.
have kept that white dragon, and I'd be looking,
Because
and
you
I'd have
could
kept the
get it.
west because I'd be looking at a flush.
2, 3. We drop our south, which is maybe not ideal, but maybe fine.
Ooh,
1, 2, 3. We're actually drawing good tiles here. We're actually getting stuff going. Oh,
I still
geez.
think it would have been better if they looked at the flush situation, but it's too late. They've gone faster, so it doesn't matter.
That's it. It's just incredibly fast Pinfu Tanya, which is 2 Han, which more than they needed. Just super,
But does it
super
put you in
fast.
second now?
Which it does not.
Does it?
Oh, no, it does.
Right?
It
Yeah.
does. 30, 21, 29 minus 6 brings you to 29,
22.
28,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pulls us up into a barely second.
I get really excited when I can do the maths quicker than Dave, because
But it's
Dave's
still, second, but it's
me.
still bad. But it's still bad because we're negative a little bit and there's only one player positive, and because of that, everyone's under 30k. Yeah. I mean, it's a negative 0.2 second
this is
like
Armor,
I didn't
right?
play this
is
game.
Armor, so everyone gets
Yeah.
So they got this. I keep calling it floating in the mouth, but yeah.
A negative 0.2 second. Yeah, it's like I didn't even play this game, which is unfortunate. But
still, I mean, far better than getting last.
Yes, far better. The only one person was kind of happy. That's true. It's true. We did it. It's the cats are the UMA's about how many people are positive. So if 2 people are positive, then 2 people will get positive UMA out of this. Yeah, and it won't be positive 20 for first alone. It'll end up being, I think, like 12 and 8 or something like that.
That's how they play in Japanese leagues.
Yeah. So that you don't want to just stay at a last
I'm not
place.
I'm not going to start the conversation now, because at the end of the stream, but there's lots of conversations to be had about the benefits and negatives of that, and yeah.
For sure. Congrats to see.
Yeah. And
I mean, that was a game with a lot of movement. That was a really close game. And it's really interesting.
I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I generally am super impressed by the play that I see coming out of Armor games, and I'm kind of jealous that I don't have a green card. First time I ever felt jealous I haven't got a green card.
Well, it's easy. You just enter the lottery and you hope that you...
I don't think they've got a lottery for the Brits anymore.
Oh, no.
No, the lottery is dependent on your area, your region, country, whatever.
Oh, that's
nice. And I don't know, maybe they're like, we let too many British people in, they'll try and colonize us again.
Can British people?
Can British people join the lottery?
Get a green
The thing is, I don't want to pay your taxes.
Oh, you don't want to do that?
Well, because Armor is only for the Americans. And they'd have to...
You can apply for a green card.
They'd have to let me in if I had a green card.
Yeah, you can be here as a visitor. Oh, you might be able to join Armor as a visitor.
Really?
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like if they let foreigners in,
I would hope so.
I don't know. I think, but the problem is if Armor starts sucking up foreigners, then the foreigners won't be motivated to make their own league, like what Chiral is now doing for the UK. Go Chiral. So that's the thing, right? Rather than just sucking everyone up, we should be encouraging them to make their own version of it, right?
I should ask. Yeah, well, no, our Armor's format's pretty public. There's really nothing that prevents you from working with it, or there's no like proprietary secret sauce.
Edwin is super. He's just super chill guy. He's really great. Really knows his mahjong stuff as well. So if you wanted any advice from him, I'm confident he would give it to you. But he's one of those like quiet stars of the mahjong world. He's always there and he's always working hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's one of like those diligent people who's just like getting stuff
done. But he's really good at mahjong as well. It's just, unfortunately, Japanese professionals always just seem to win WRC.
They have this it's a weird habit they have. They do it.
But I think we've had that problem. Just we don't have any kind of breakout stars yet from Europe and America. Like I have wondered at times whether people like Edwin can be. There's people that I've kind of gone like, maybe this would be my breakout star. This would be the foreigner who does that. But I know we've got Jen and Garth and other professionals in Japan, but I want a homegrown one. I want one here. We don't have that yet. I think that would really make the community, and that's what we need 2025. Everyone needs to start studying, because I need one of you to win Tokyo, because that will just change the whole dynamics of this community.
Kyrell, you might want to chat with him actually,
Yeah.
because I think he'd be very happy to offer his thoughts on what you put together, and like he knows a lot about league structures. Like he's a good person to talk to.
And he spent what was it, a month in Japan, and he went to the Saikyosen, and he knows loads of people like at top levels. Like, yeah.
So tomorrow I'm going to be producing some content for our next stream because tomorrow I'm going to have a Wagyu omakase. So we're gonna have some pictures of that.
How can it be a Wagyu omakase if you're just having Wagyu?
Well, the chef picks the cuts.
Oh, okay. And content, I know. Yeah. Dave makes content. Dave's
gonna be making a lot more content after this Build Expo. We're gonna see a lot more things. Mostly just dancing TikToks is all I'm gonna do. Just dancing TikToks forever. It's gonna be real humiliating.
Again, tell me the Patreon because I'll pay for this.
Patreon. All right. What I really have to do is get ready because we got to go down to Sparrow's Nest for our meetup today. If you're around in town, come join us. 3 p.m. Sparrow's Nest Studio, 36th Street, 5th floor. Is Wagyu worth it? I would say this is something near and dear to my heart. It is super worth trying. It's very rich. You don't need to eat a ton. Like if you're looking at Wagyu and it's like a very small amount of Wagyu, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's very rich. A bite or two will give you the experience. It's very nice. It's definitely not one of those things where it's like, once you've eaten Wagyu, you'll only ever want to eat.
I mean, don't go and eat a Wagyu burger that like some bougie burger place is doing. Like, ask my husband on Discord. Like, he'll tell you if there's a good place. If you're going to London, there'll definitely be a good Wagyu place. But it is expensive, but it is worth it. And I'll give you this advice. Anyone going to eat Wagyu, they always give you a little bowl of salad. That little bowl of salad is going to keep your stomach operating. So with each bite of the Wagyu, just have a bite of salad as well because you need the fiber. Otherwise, it's very fatty.
Pound that stuff straight.
It's very fatty, and if you're not used to it, like if you're like, I don't do very well French cuisine just because of the sheer amount of butter they put into it. So I have to be very careful. So I always have my salad ready.
Yeah, no, it's very, very rich. Yeah. Be prepared. Like 3 ounces of Wagyu, 2 ounces of Wagyu. It's a fine sample. You'll get a taste for it. You'll understand what it is. Like you really don't worry that you're seeing like 16-ounce steaks and then tiny Wagyus. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right,
it's called many pints of beer is an option. I gotta run. Thank you all for joining us so much. We'll see you next week with more stuff and announcements and cool things. Otherwise, have a great day. Play some mahjong. Talk to you later.
Bye. Thank you.